What's going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 263. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Adam Vale.
Yo, 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 what up in the name? Chillin'?
Brett Murdoch. Hey, party people.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Don't do bad impressions of me. I'm here.
Brian Manjoma.
I ain't last, Brett. I ain't last.
You know? Sure. All right, man. We got two guests tonight. First up, the one, the only one, Mr. Riku-san one.
What's good, people? What's up?
And hey, people. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Torrance Davis.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, shit.
People are showing things in the background. I think I chose. Everybody know what this is, right?
I can't even. What the fuck?
It's like Mighty Number
Mighty Number 9, right? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Man.
Yeah, it looks like Mighty Number 9. Yeah, there you go. Oh, shit. That's dope.
Best platformers released that year.
I don't know about that, Torrance.
You should have put that in the box that you sent to Tony.
Yeah.
Tony did the unboxing.
No, I paid money for this. I paid good money for this.
You can keep that motherfucker.
Classic.
You can keep that fucking shit. But yeah, man, we're gonna have a good show tonight. So the main reason we have Torrance on is because you have a big announcement. You joined the family, bro.
What? Oh,
you're part of the coalition now, man.
Yes, I'm part of the family.
Yeah. So how did this all come about, man? I got to hear this. So this is exclusive right now, man.
Okay, I'm just
World
saying.
premiere.
Hello, people. No, okay, so I've always, for a while now, since Shut the Fuck Up Play died, I always thought it would be cool if I was like on somebody else's staff and I didn't have to worry about managing people and I could just create content and not worry about anything and just have fun. So that was years ago. It was always in the back of my mind. And as you know, I've done a couple of things on the coalition. I think I wrote one article and there was an interview on there. And, you know, whatever. So the war zone's coming to an end and I'm pretty much done with the industry. And that's for real. But I was still going to come back here and do the occasional podcast if I had hair across my ass or something, a megaton happened or something I wanted to talk about it, you know. And then this thing went down with JJ.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't get that. No, yep.
All right. All right. Yo, we don't need to say anything more, but everybody knows what's up, you know?
Yeah. So this thing went down, and I was like, oh, this is a position open. The coalition. And I was thinking about it, I was like, things happen for a reason. War's ending soon. There's a position open. There's still stuff I'm gonna want to do, and you know, I got the YouTube channel and everything, but why not post stuff on the coalition? Why not? You know, and I could just be freelance and do whatever. I don't have to manage anybody or anything. I said, fuck it. So I got in touch with some inside sources at the coalition and fast tracked my job application and interview, and I got in.
It's fucking amazing, man. But I gotta call you out on your bullshit though, man. Because you're always fucking saying, yeah, I'm leaving the industry. I'm leaving the industry. Like, okay, you're gonna finish the war zone, but you're still gonna be on the coalition, so you're still in the industry.
Well, no. See, I know what it is. It's like you can't. It's like you know, De Niro in The Godfather. You know, you're always there.
You know what I'm saying? Torrance, you're always talking this shit, but you ain't leaving, son.
You're always in.
But no, wait. But here's the thing. It's not. I don't want to do like, for instance, the first thing Gary wanted to send. He wanted to send me a Mech Warrior. They got a new Mech Assault, new Mech game coming out.
Please tell me you're doing it.
And I said, nah, I don't want it. Nope, I don't want. And I love the Mech series. Love it. I've been playing it since you guys didn't even know you could play games on PC. That's how far back it goes.
Okay, I'm going to refute that.
You playing since the Turbo Tech?
Yep.
I will also
Brett's been there
that.
since day one, man.
Well, okay, Brett, you're in that you're in the old school bracket.
No, wait, hold on a second.
Right? Everybody's coming out right now.
Damn.
I've been playing like RPG games since like Commander Keen and whatever. That was way before Mech Warrior.
All right.
I have almost as much credit as you do. So.
Let me change it. Let me change it.
I've been playing since Titanfall 1.
All right. Since Rikusen won. Okay.
Whoa.
I used to play the MechWarrior back in the day.
So, I'm a big, huge fan of the series, but I don't want to do video game reviews. And Tony will tell you.
Just do this one, please.
I hate doing fuck. Look, I've been reviewing games since 1995. Now, actually, before that, because I did it for fun before that.
Damn, I was 25 in 1995.
I don't ever want to review a fucking game again. Ever.
Wait, how old were you, Adam?
You hear his story, man. The dude's telling the story. Let's
Your age is an enigma.
He wasn't 25 because I was fucking 25.
This motherfucker's like Kenneth the Page.
Anyway.
Go on, man.
I'm done doing video. When you've done as many game reviews as I've done, I'm just done. I never want to write another fucking game review ever. Fucking again. Nope. Nothing. If I do another, I'll do Pong, But I'm more interested in op-ed stuff and tech and things like that. And weird things that nobody else is doing and crazy stuff. So
fishing?
That's what no, not fishing. That's something else.
Unless it's Sega bass fishing,
Yes. But even then, I don't want to review shit. I don't want to write fucking game reviews. Leave that to the game reviewers.
That's dope, man.
I'm Godfathered in. I've finished that. I can do. I'm a made man now. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, one more review.
Yeah. The reason Adam's saying that is because he doesn't want to review that fucking game.
I don't want to review it. It's a big ass only because of the equipment wise. I want the best performance out of it, and my video card just barely makes recommendations.
It's not only that. That's not an easy review to do.
No, it's not.
You got to get down. You got to talk about customization, graphics, gameplay, online, things like that.
Yeah. You gotta do it right. You can't say you play big robots and it's fun.
Yeah. By the way,
you like it? That's an awesome review.
By the way, plug. I'm actually going to be reviewing the game. So I'm good to go. But all that shit you're talking about, Torrance Mike, that's standard, man. That's for every review. But the thing is,
no. Yeah, standard is gameplay, graphics, sound, story, blah blah blah. When you're talking about a MechWarrior game. Yeah. And you're talking about the level of detail with the customization and this and that and the different types of weapons, man. You got you're probably not a MechWarrior head.
This is my first one, and I'm going to treat it as such.
Yeah, your review is going to be totally different than mine would be.
Yeah,
they got graphic novels and stuff. You got.
I don't give a fuck about that.
This is what's the name of this one? This is MechWarrior
5.
No, isn't there another name? It's Mercenaries, right?
I don't know.
Mercenaries.
Okay. Yeah, it's Mercenaries. This is the second Mercenaries game.
Oh shit!
Didn't Mercenaries come out? Was it 3 or 2? They did a Mercenaries.
I thought this was yeah.
All right, you all continue the show, but
yeah. No, I thought
I'm about to pull out my Mercenaries disc.
Oh shit!
To how deep I go.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah,
But anyway, for me to do this review, I would have to go all the way back to the past, how it started. This and that. I couldn't do it without going back into all that and how it's progressed over the years and how they added an online component instead of just a local area network component. This and that. I would have to get down. So it wouldn't even be a review. It would be more like a
retrospective.
Yeah, it would be more like a retrospective. It would be like a fucking book report. That's what it would be like.
Yeah. I don't do that shit, man. I've gotten my reviews to such a point where I think every review now is like about 1,000 words max. Like I have that shit so tight now, So I'm not even thinking about the shit. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just play the game, review it.
Freaking the MS Word, he still has a little paper clip, and they said, "You did it," and he's like, "Whoa." Hit my numbers.
But anyway, Torrance, I do want to congratulate you for being on here, and it's crazy because we're back under the same wheelhouse, essentially.
Yep, we're fellow employees again.
Pretty much,
like the song says, "What goes around comes around." That's what people say.
There you go, MechWarrior 2.
Oh, MechWarrior 2.
That's MechWarrior 2 from Activision, which was dope.
See this shit.
I used to get down with this shit, man.
Are they in alphabetical order?
Oh no, I just throw them in here.
They're in Manny order.
No, there's an order.
Oh, really? Because remember you were telling me like there's a Manny order.
there's a specific order that I have for things.
I see, Brett. What's going on, brother?
I'm still looking.
Hey, man. Brett's about to pull out his fucking Mech Warrior shit. Hold on. We have the return of the podcast. The podcast is back. Hold on, I'm stopping the show right now.
It's not the after hour show.
Adam, shut up. The podcast is back, people, and he's licking his fucking ass. This is perfect.
Yep.
The pussy licking his pussy.
Podcast.
He's like, what? Huh? What? Oh,
amazing.
I didn't. I don't know if you guys have ever actually. Have you been introduced to the new podcast?
No, I haven't. Hey,
there's Podcat too.
Torrance, have you checked out Brett's
Podcat Junior?
I don't even know what Podcat is.
It's a fucking podcast cat, man.
Let me go.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me go.
Brett's about to. He looks like he's about to smoke the fattest cigar right now, man.
Close.
Yeah. Nice.
It's like, hello, this is Brett Marnock with the Fireside Chat.
Yeah, this is what I was about to say. Welcome to Fireside Chats with Brett.
That's fucking
Not for the world,
man.
since my soapbox.
All right, man. Let's talk some shit, man. I'm gonna switch around the order a little bit. I'm gonna talk about this whole Microsoft, whatever the fuck that shit is called, the diskless version. And Torrance, I know you got some shit to say about this.
Yep.
So anyway, and this is still a rumor right now, I believe, right? Nothing official, but apparently, and we talked about this before, how Microsoft plans to have a diskless version of the Scarlet, right? Now, here's the thing, that came out first, and then it turns out that this version will be, for the lack of a better term, gimped. It's going to have less shit in it. It's going to be less powerful. Lockhart is called, right? So, my stance is how are you going to have a gimped version and then an actual version? Is that not going to fuck up development of games? You know what I'm saying? But I know, Torrance, you have a different stance on it.
No, man. It's we have this chat going on. I keep talking about scalability of games. So scalability has been something that's been in existence with PC games for years, where you can take a game and you can run it on a 4 gigabyte second gen Intel i3 processor, and you're going to have a lower resolution. You can probably run it at 1080p, but you're not going to have great textures. You're not going to have the highest frame rates, but you can still play the game. And then you take you get that PC upgraded, and that same installation, now you can turn stuff up and you get more stuff. You get better textures, you get better frame rates, you get better gameplay, more objects on the screen, and things like that. So it's scalable. Okay, so you don't have to install a different game. It scales to whatever hardware you're running on. That's what Microsoft's going to be doing if they do actually come out with this diskless. I hate diskless.
Yeah, it's a fucking horrible word.
Sounds like dickless, the dickless version. But
it'll just call it all digital. That's it.
These games will be scaled. You've already seen it with the Xbox One X games. Yeah. They take an existing Xbox One game, they run some patches on it now that they got this new hardware, and you take that same disc, put it in an Xbox One X, and it runs at a higher resolution, higher frame rate, with better textures, all that, because the game is scalable. So they're going to take that same tech into these new consoles, Lockhart and what was the other one, Scarlet?
Scarlet, yeah.
So they're saying that it'll be a 4 teraflop system, and people are automatically saying, well, 4 teraflops is lower than the Xbox One X, so it's not as powerful as the Xbox One X. Anytime you hear somebody talk shit like that, they don't know about PC hardware, period. Just because it's less teraflops than the Xbox One X doesn't mean that it's at least a lower, doesn't mean it's not as powerful or more powerful than the Xbox One X, because we're talking about new hardware, new GPU, new CPU, other things, more memory, things that it's going to be able to be doing that the Xbox One X couldn't do. But they're not going to come out with a next-gen system that's not as at least more powerful than the Xbox One X. That wouldn't make any fucking sense. But the whole reason they're doing this is there are people who can't get consoles day one. We've seen this. You're going to have those 1.2, 1.5 million people that are going to run out with their $500 that very first day and get a PS5 and an Xbox Scarlet immediately. And then you're going to have those people that are going to have to wait 2 or 3 years because they don't want to spend $500. Maybe they don't have $500 to spend on a system. So when comes this diskless system that's less powerful than the Scarlet, and let's say it's $299.
Torrance, I have a better solution for that.
Go ahead.
Get a second job.
No,
bringing it back. Rewind.
You remember that shit?
Yep.
But yeah. Now it's easy for us to say, "Oh, all you got to do is save up money or I work a couple extra hours." But there are people out there that can't afford to do that.
You just do Microsoft's new payment plan.
If you well, there's an option. If you go to the Microsoft store, you can make payments on the new console. But maybe some people don't want to do that. Maybe their credit isn't good enough to do that. So you give people the lower option. That still gets them into the next generation at a lower price point. They can still play the same games that everybody else is playing, but not at the same quality. Now, I'm going to tell you the major differences will be, most likely, this is just a guesstimate, that the Scarlet will be focusing on 4K resolutions. Maybe the Lockhart will be running its games at 1080p and not 4K. Maybe you don't have a 4K television, so why are you paying for the Scarlet? Maybe you only have a 1080p TV, so you get this Lockhart system that runs the games in 1080p, and you're good.
I want to say, up until recently, I was on board with you 100%. But 4K TVs just in the last year and a half have gotten infinitely more accessible. I mean, the price drops on them are ridiculous.
Oh, no, they're cheap. They're dirt cheap.
No, it's not just that they're dirt cheap. It's that the consumers have figured out they're dirt cheap. Like, I was apparently one of the last people to kind of jump on board. By the time I did, I was like, man, I got a 4K TV. Literally everybody I told was like, oh yeah, man, they're dirt cheap now.
Yeah,
that's kind of everybody's response. So I think this generation they can push 4K. I think last generation it was kind of eh.
Well, no, I think they can push it. But my whole thing is, how many consumers on a budget want to go out and buy a 4K TV just to play this new Xbox?
I think they're getting to the point where most of them have it. Not most of them.
I don't know about that, man.
Do we have people in the chat?
Yeah, we do.
I'm sure
I'll ask you in the chat right now. Who has a 4K TV?
Have them put a 1 if they have and a 0 if they don't.
Yeah, 1 or 0s, people. There you go.
I'll say right now, I have a 4K TV for all my movie watching. I do not play video games on it. My video game TV is 1080p.
Yo, GZDR, bro, 1 or 0, man, not a fucking 2.
I do not game in 4K.
Yeah, interesting.
It's not unnecessary.
You better have an 8K for that answer.
I game in 2K on PC. And while with the shows here is dun, 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 that's MechWarrior Vengeance, published by Microsoft.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, wasn't that on Xbox?
But no, that's PC.
Wasn't there an Xbox?
They
one?
did.
Xbox was Mech Assault.
Mech Assault. Oh yeah, Mech Assault 1 and 2.
Right.
That was one of the first where you can get out of the mech. I remember that. There was a time limit though.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's the thing I want to say, right? Because there comes a certain point when it comes to PC games where if you have an old ass PC, you can't run this shit anymore, right? So don't you have to make the games at least for the lowest possible like computer for the games to be able to run on it? And if that's the case, won't that like hamper the development? That's where I'm coming at it from. Like, so if they have to develop for this, gimpy system, it's gonna fuck the whole system.
No, it's not gonna hamper anything because let me tell you something. In the PC world, if your system is that old and you're below minimum requirements, you just can't play the fucking game. Yeah. But you can't do that in the console realm. If you spend $300, $400 on a console and a game comes out for that console, you need to be able to play it.
No, I understand that, but I'm like, okay,
that's where the difference is, though. So there isn't people. You got to understand, the developers aren't going to be held back by that. If the developer, I see developers like DICE and CD Projekt Red being like, well, we're not going to be able to get 600 people walking down the street. Damn. Things like that, crazy. But developers are able to do whatever the fuck they want to nowadays. They're not going to be held back by system specs. They're not going to be like back in the days, Christ just couldn't run on fucking anything. Right now, Red Dead Redemption 2 really can't run the way it should be on PCs. But those are extreme examples. When we're talking about console gaming, just because there's a lower spec system out there, it's not going to hold the developers back. The developers are going to make the game as ballsy as they want to for the Scarlet, and then when that game gets plugged in to or downloaded to the Lockhart, a lot of stuff just gets turned off so it can run. That's all.
I think the only thing that you'll get is what we have currently for the consoles. It's we might get a frame rate unlocked to 60 frames or from 30 to 60 frames, or a upscale to 4K. But I think the biggest issue with this is sort of the more CPU intensive tasks. So the way you have more, like you talked about, more enemies on the screen, like all that is more CPU intensive stuff. So that is something that's not scalable in a video game. It's not like you can tell the game, okay, the Scarlet, do 500 enemies at a time. The whatever the other one is, do 30. You know,
that actually is scalable.
I've never seen a development where they scale down the enemies for lower hardware use. All they do is lower textures, lower.
Yes, you have seen that. You have seen it. Ready?
Go for it.
Battlefield 4.
Battlefield 4.
Look at Battlefield 4 on the Xbox One and PS4.
What are you talking about? Multiplayer?
It doesn't matter. It could be multiplayer. It could be the single player campaign.
No, I'm talking about single player.
Okay, let's go with the single player campaign. What was it? You look at the amount of enemies on the screen for like a console version compared to what they were doing on PC. You can scale the stuff back. You can do it. You can scale enemies back. You can have less enemies on the screen. You've seen many games. There's been many games where you've seen. I don't know how much PC and console gaming you do.
Dynasty Warriors games do that too.
Yeah, where you see a lower count on a system that can't handle a high count. You put too many characters on a screen, you can't play the fucking game. So that has to be scalable.
Okay? Yeah, but that's just one that's one dimension of let's talk about destruction, environmental destruction.
Right.
That's another thing. It's like how are the developers, and do we even trust the developers to seamlessly, transition from one piece of hardware to the other?
It's already being done, bro. Do I have to make another video? I'm gonna link you a video. I did a video years ago before the Xbox One and PS4 came out. I did a video to explain to people how things will run on different versions of hardware, and I used Battlefield. I don't know if I used 4 or 3. I may have used Battlefield 3.
The question is, yes, we talk about, you want to talk about scaling, but the thing is that, again, like even what Carlos is saying is, will a developer even do it? And a lot of times they don't.
They're going to have to.
I mean, in this generation alone, with the two SKUs of the Xbox and the PlayStation and the those two SKUs, you notice that there's a bunch of games that don't see any sort of improvements, not resolution improvements, and a lot of other things. They just don't bother. They just said, all right, let's just put it out.
But
the only thing that happens, and this is just because they're running on a better thing, and this is not developer side, is maybe the frame rates are a little bit more stable on the bigger one. But that's about it. It's not any other improvement.
But that's the difference between a good developer and a great developer. Okay, so that's a totally different issue right there. That's just like, okay, how good is this developer? Is it top tier AAA like Naughty Dog? Or is it one of those shitty indie developers that just doesn't give a fuck?
A good example is the new Star Wars game. That game doesn't see very much of an improvement on any of the newer ones. And in fact, on the higher end version of one, there's actually more slowdown and more horrible things that happen.
Right, but still, that's not due to anything but the developer. Like when you see something in games that's okay, I'm not seeing a visual improvement and it has bugs or whatever. That's because the developer didn't take time to either fix bugs or to do certain things. That's developer specific. That's not a hardware limitation. That's a developer limitation.
Wow.
Why is it that DICE and CD Projekt Red can release such high quality fucking games, and you see other companies releasing those same type of games, and they're just not up to that standard? Well, the developers are different.
Would you put Bethesda in that camp?
I would put them in that camp with certain things, but not with everything. Bethesda's got a lot of issues. There's a reason why they're called Bugthesda.
Yeah.
But they're still the same company that released Skyrim, one of the most popular games of last generation. So I can't totally fault them. And they also got Carmack on their side. So, it all depends on the game, the engine, the developer. In this day and age, 2019, we're supposed to have flying cars and shit. The hardware is not. Yeah, hardware is not going to be an issue. It's not. You guys, I know how you guys are thinking, and I know why you're thinking that way. That's not how it works. These new consoles are fucking PCs. They're boxed, closed versions of gaming PCs. x86 architecture, all these games, and Microsoft has already showed you with the Xbox One X and Xbox One games how you can make a game scalable, how you can make it work on kick-ass hardware and old school fucking 2013 hardware, the same exact game.
Yes, but because I have an Xbox One X and I have an Xbox One, and when I play the games on the different hardwares, it's only a marginal difference. Even though at least from the GPU side and RAM and everything, it's a drastic difference from the original Xbox One hardware.
Right, but you're talking about games that have already been in existence and games that they patched to make somewhat better on the Xbox One X.
But now, even like a game like Gears 5, which I played on both, and I played it on PC. Right, it's I really cannot. It's slight differences. I mean, it's right. It looks better for sure, and it's in 4K, but it's not anything that says, "Oh, the hardware." It doesn't tell me I need to get an Xbox One X for this. Right. On Xbox One, it looks perfectly fine.
But then again, but you're helping me out here. You're helping me out. So you're seeing 3 different versions of the same game running on 3 different hardwares, and you can't tell some of the differences that are made. You can see a few of them, but not all of them.
Yeah,
it's going to be the same.
But that's
Lockhart. You're not going to see major differences. You're going to see some resolution, some frame rate, possibly. Maybe some textures. But again, we all talk about this stuff like we have PlayStation, Xbox, PC, all on screens playing the same game, all paused next to each other so we can tell the difference. That's how everybody operates. And nobody can tell the fucking difference because we're too busy playing the fucking game on one screen, on one system.
Okay, now hold on. I gotta call shenanigans on that one.
Yes.
A lot of times, perception in visual fidelity and detail, if you're not putting them up side by side, your average person can't fucking tell a difference. You can show them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No,
I agree.
Yeah, but when you do put them side by side, you can tell the difference. And as somebody who as somebody who's just recently sunk a bunch of money into a really nice 4K TV, right? Like I bought not the bottom rung, but the one above it. So I get true blacks on my TV and everything like that. I will sit there and marvel at my new TV. I will bristle a little bit and shoulder brush a little bit every time I actually turn the TV off because I didn't realize it was on because it's that fucking black. It's awesome to have that problem. Yeah. And even though I couldn't tell the difference for the longest time, and I had to even see them side by side and be like, I notice a little difference, but I'm not really sure. Like it just had to click. Like I had to go in and see a really nice one and I'm like, oh, I fucking get it now. And now every time I turn on my TV, I'm like, thank God I'm not watching that other piece of shit.
Right. But you're
how you doing, hip hop gamer? How's it going?
You're basically saying what everybody was saying when they got a 4K Xbox gaming system and started playing games in 4K. Games that they had been playing for a few years on the regular Xbox One. And then they got a 4K TV in either the Xbox One S or the Xbox One X and played those same games on a 4K TV. They were seeing a difference. A huge resolution boost means things are going to be sharper and things like that. But what I'm saying is
people notice that.
Yeah, but I mean that's a huge jump. When you go from 1080p to 4K, that's a huge thing. When you're talking about HDR versus standard RGB color, that's huge. But what I'm saying is the argument here is that the developers are going to have to hold back the games and their ideas and their scope of games because there's this lower tier system out there.
Oh no, they 100% will. No, they 100% will.
They will not have to.
Oh no, they are already doing it. Okay, you tell me why.
How are they doing it?
You tell me why you can generate an infinitely large world in Minecraft on PC, but you are limited by invisible walls on consoles. And tell me how that doesn't matter. Tell me that doesn't change the game.
Well, you're also talking about a game that's how many years old?
You should have overcome that problem by now. They should be able to run on consoles without restrictions.
So you're telling me when you play Minecraft on PS4 and Xbox One, You don't have these huge, gigantic worlds. You see it drawing in front of you.
No, you run into an invisible wall where it won't generate bricks anymore. And it's not a draw distance. It's you live in a confined world. In the PC,
but is that a memory limitation? Isn't that a memory limitation?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, the point is like, yeah, but Brett's point is like, the point is like, lower hardware is gonna limit you. It's already happening.
But I was very specific when I said memory limitation.
Yeah.
How much memory does the PS4 and Xbox One have compared to to a standard?
Are you talking RAM? Are you talking CPU? Okay,
I'm talking RAM.
Even then, like CPU judges your ability to generate destructible environments and to be able to destroy them. You don't have that if the lowest common denominator doesn't. That's one thing I've been adamant about, and a soapbox I'll stand on over and over again. If you give us this iterative generation console bullshit, you're never going to see the bottom line being raised, and you're just going to get the same fucking games that we get now with the option of prettier and prettier paint jobs, and that is not what the evolution of gaming.
I totally disagree. It's not that black and white. There's so many other factors.
It's been that way for a decade.
But you're talking about now. Let me tell you, the two games that I can think of that have some of the best destruction ever in the history of console gaming. Battlefield Bad Company 2 was one of them, and the Mars game,
Red Faction Guerrilla.
Red Faction Guerrilla on ancient fucking hardware. Fucking hardware. You mean to tell me that on these new consoles, the destruction isn't going to be fucking out of this world?
It hasn't. Where's it been in the last 10 years?
Nobody's doing it. That's the problem. Developers aren't doing that. That's why we always go back to those two games.
Because okay, and this is why Minecraft is an important game to discuss. They can't do that because it is exponentially harder for a system to be able to process that. That's why Minecraft will wreck your fucking... Like, if you crank that shit and, like, crank your draw distance, it will bog down even a decently heavy PC. But even blocky as it is, because it's rendering in voxels, and those voxels allow you to... Go ahead.
Here's my point. So you're talking about running into invisible walls in Minecraft, right?
On console.
Right, on console, because the console is not the PC, right? But you can still play the game.
It's not the same game, though.
But how is it not the same game? You got to remember, the first game that came out was the PC version. Right?
I'm telling you, as a gamer who crowdfunded the first version of the game and who refuses to play it on console because of the bullshit restrictions it puts on you, effectively ruining the game, I'm telling you, it changes the game in the mind of a consumer.
Understood. But you also have to remember, the first version of Minecraft was PC. The second version, Xbox 360, Windows-based computers, then eventually PlayStation, and Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and even your fucking phone.
Microwave.
Yeah, the game plays on everything, but it's a very old game, and it's playable on all these systems, and the game has been made scalable.
So let me ask you this: do you think procedural power and the computational power of a system, do you think it doesn't affect the mechanics of the game at all? It only affects the graphics?
I'm not going to give you a straight answer on that for two reasons. We have not seen anything on these new consoles that are coming out. It depends on the developer, depends on the engine, depends on the game. But because it's scalable, if they need to do things like turn off certain things to make the game run at a certain frame rate, turn off certain things to make it run at 1080p, that game will still work. It'll still run. It'll still be playable. And we're not talking about an Xbox 360 or a fucking PS2 here. We're talking about brand new fucking hardware, brand new CPUs, brand new GPUs that are fully optimized to do whatever that are coming out next year. So when we say that developers will be held back, I will 100%, I will take it to the grave. I will 100% disagree with that. The developers are only going to be held back by their ideas, by their publishers rushing the games out. You know, they're going to be limited by their imagination.
I agree with you that graphics are scalable. Do you think that mechanics are scalable?
To a certain extent. To a certain extent, yes.
And do you not think that when you scale back on those mechanics, that you're cutting away at the core of the game and giving people different experiences?
But why? But we don't. Here's the thing: we're talking about consoles we haven't even seen yet, and you're saying scaling back mechanics. With these systems, will they have to scale back mechanics to get it to run the way they want to? I don't believe so. Well, I don't believe so at all.
But doesn't the potential exist for that to happen, though?
I don't believe it.
Here's the biggest issue. It's like, I'm a developer, right? I'm not a video game developer, but I'm a developer. And if I'm given certain pieces of hardware, let's say I'm giving 2 pieces of hardware that I need to get my code working in, my program working in, I'm going to make sure that the lowest common denominator works, because that's the one that has the worst hardware, and I'm going to have to make sure my code is efficient and its performance is up to speed when it comes to that hardware. When a game, this is how I look at it when it comes to game development. It's like, we have a deadline. We have this game we're developing for, and we're going to make sure it works first and foremost on the lower tier, because this is the one that, you know, we're going to have to make sure that the physics for this game works like this. We're going to make sure the enemies are this number of enemies. We're going to work with this game, and like so on and so forth. Then it's like, okay, we have a better version of this same type of console. It's just better GPU, better CPU, maybe more memory. Then you go to that huge gray area of development where it's like, how much time is a developer going to put into that gray area of time where it's saying, okay, we have this much to work with now with a new console. How much time and effort are we going to put into this to make it even better than the lower tier version of the console?
When new games were released for Xbox One, after the Xbox One X came out and brand new games came out, day one, they were running better on Xbox One X. They were running better on PS Pro than the Generation 1 systems.
Yeah, but that's expected.
There's your example right there.
No, because
okay, counter example.
What was that?
I said counter example. On those same systems, didn't they have to cut back the number of zombies that they could put on screen for Dead Rising because of lack of computational power?
Dead Rising 3, the one that came out?
Yeah. Because they were touting how many zombies you'd be able to get, and again, they had to cut that number by like 60%,
right?
In order to actually get the game. Hold on, in order to actually get the game to perform. And you're telling me 60% less enemies on a screen doesn't affect a game?
That's let me tell you, I played Dead Rising 3. I beat it. I loved it. I don't even understand how we can even use that as an example, because when Dead Rising 3 first came out, it was only available on one system, the Xbox One.
No, but the point is, like, Torrance, if you're facing 100 zombies, that's a lot different than facing 40 zombies. You know what I'm saying?
Remember the original one?
No.
I'm not Xbox 360 was breaking it.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with that, but we're talking the game you're talking about. When it came out, it was only available for one console. So
yeah, but
they maxed it out.
Yeah, well, no, even then, as a fan of that game, they were touting that they were going to have more zombies in that game than they did, and they had to dial the number back, and it was still breaking combos due to performance limitations.
Right.
I'm giving you a real world example of where a game was actually affected.
They maxed it out, and
that wasn't graphics. That's mechanics.
That's actually graphics. That's not mechanics. When you're talking about how many objects you can fit on the screen, that's graphics. That didn't affect the gameplay at all.
Yeah, but when those objects are enemies, that does affect the gameplay, because it changes how you're going to play it.
I don't know how many of you guys played Dead Rising 3. I've had times where the entire fucking avenue was filled with zombies. Okay, so I don't know how much
Dead Rising 1 then.
How much to? Well, look, here's my point though. Here's my point.
You mean Dead Rising? Yeah, Dead Rising 1 on the Wii. Remember that shit had like 10 zombies and shit.
You're actually helping me make my point though. So let's use that. Let's just say Dead Rising 3 comes out, and it's just like the Xbox One version, okay, on Lockhart, right? But when you plug that disc into the Scarlet system, you get all those extra zombies. Game still plays on both consoles. It's scalable. That's the point I'm trying to make.
But when you say it's scalable in both mechanics and graphics, so like if you're playing on a PC and you get, PC gets 30% more zombies.
Yeah.
Because it's not locked. Like, so, okay, you don't think that's a big deal if a game comes out and says, if you buy it on our premium system, you get 30% more zombies than if you buy it on our basic system.
I don't think that's a big deal, given that I had played the game and beat it. If I had no experience with Dead Rising 3, I'd probably say that's a big deal. But I played Dead Rising 3.
I mean, dude, we're talking about a game where like even draw distance in games like GTA become the thing that win or lose a match. Like, not only we're not even busting into the idea of how the Call of Duty guys are going to feel when one enemy renders in, or when one person gets further render distance than another one. I'm just talking about straight, because I'm trying to put it in terms of almost as much math as I can. Like,
but
if you're talking,
okay. So you mentioned draw distance. Okay, draw distance is related to memory. It's related to a Z buffer. They have that solved already. Okay, so we're not going to have draw distance. Like, if we have draw distance issues with any of these motherfucking consoles, I'm going to be laughing my ass off, because draw distance is the thing that should have ended last generation. Okay, because we have the memory right now. But even in 4K, we have the memory to handle that. That shouldn't be an issue. But if it is an issue, then it's because of lack of memory. There's always going to be a reason for something. So if we're having draw distance issue where you're actually seeing the world drawing in front of you, you got a memory issue. You got a Z buffer issue.
Are none of these processing power issues? Can somebody with
draw distance isn't a processing.
Draw distance and enemies, enemy AIs on the screen, like that kind of stuff.
If you have AI running past those draw distances, then it's both a memory.
There's another factor you haven't discussed, and that's the APIs and the development environment that's put up by the console makers. If you don't have optimized APIs to run your stuff on, and you don't have the support, then it's not going to be good. I remember this was a problem. Microsoft was always good with that. Microsoft was good at supporting developers. They're good at fine-tuning their stuff. They're good at tweaking their stuff to support the hardware better. Sony's good at it. I remember a big problem was Nintendo when I was working there. They would keep stuff close to the vest. They had lousy support.
Yeah, I remember that.
For Western developers. I mean, Lucas Arts, I remember, was pissed because they wouldn't give them the Wii Motion Plus API, so they couldn't use it for the lightsaber game. And so, things like that can also affect performance of games. And also, if you get married to an engine, like if you have like EA's doctrine, everybody use Frostbite. Well, if you don't optimize Frostbite, you won't get good performance. And so I see your point where you're like, okay, there's these outside factors, and also time. Time is also a factor. No publisher wants to wait 4 years for a game to come out. They want the short-term ROI.
Right.
So and they more focus on like, how can we monetize it more? Let's put in loot boxes. Don't focus too much on gameplay. So so I understand that side of the argument. But I think the fear is that, the thing that Brett's saying is that computationally, all these are yes, they're all closed system PCs, but they're always behind what's available to PC gamers, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, I understand what you're saying about scalability. You can see that in PC games. You can turn down stuff. If you have a crappy video card, you can just turn down and scale down stuff. Mm-hmm. And the consoles are automatically doing that. I think the proving ground for this next generation is how close can they get, and how much support, and I'm talking to all three, how much support can they give the developers so that they can get as much performance as possible, or get as much fidelity as possible out of the systems. I think that's going to be very important. And I said, like, Microsoft's good at that. I'm pretty sure Sony's pretty good about that. So, and
I'm not saying there's no threshold with next generation. There's always going to be a threshold. There's always going to be a ceiling that they're going to reach, and it's going to take time for them to reach it. They're going to reach that ceiling eventually. It's going to be a while with these next gen consoles before they can do it. But there's so many factors involved that it's even hard for me to definitively say yes or no what's going to happen. I have no fucking idea. I don't even know if this rumor is true.
Yeah.
Now, Torrance, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
I got to be a thorn in your side one more time.
Yep.
There's a critical event that happens that makes this whole thing work in the PC world, and that's that you have to accept that sometimes your PC is not powerful enough to run a game.
Yes.
Will we get to the place where you may have an Xbox that can't run a current gen Xbox that can't run a current gen Xbox game because it's too low in the shuffle?
If Microsoft does that, they're fucking screwed.
That's why. So if you're saying you're doing this in an environment though where you can never eliminate the lowest common denominator, that's where I see the problem coming.
Well, it would be akin to because developers have their own baseline systems when they develop PC games. They have monster systems, but they always have low-end systems so they can figure out what their minimum systems requirements are going to be. So developers for the consoles are going to be, okay, our minimum system requirement is going to be the Lockhart. That's the minimum. And the recommended is going to be the Scarlet. So that's how I envision it'll be,
I can see that. I just don't know how if that's how.
Oh, we lost
you. Cut out, man. Say that again.
Oh,
cut out the punchline.
If that's where you're coming from, I can see it and I can understand it. I just don't know how well that would fly. EA comes out with a game for Scarlet and up.
Yeah, well, Microsoft wouldn't allow developers to third-party publishers to do that. If they do, however, that would be stupid, and they would fuck themselves for next generation.
I would only say that that's unlikely because EA would be closing off a portion of the market. If Lockhart sells really well and they go, well, this game is only going to run on Scarlet, too bad, then you're losing out on money. They would be stupid to do that.
And we still haven't talked about the possibility of Sony doing what they did this gen and coming out with a higher-end version of the PS5. Yeah. Like 3 years into the console generation.
Oh, I predict that shit. We're going to see a PlayStation 5 Pro.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, PlayStation 5 Pro. I'm marking it right now. To what the fuck's today's date, man? Mark it down.
The 5th
December 5th.
Yeah, December 5th.
Remember the
Throwdown episode 263. There will be a PlayStation 5 Pro. Lock it down. I said it.
And a Vita 3.
Well, nah.
I say there'll be 3 SKUs.
I hate you.
Yeah, they're gonna do this iterative shit because it's sold well. All these consoles sold well. Xbox One X sold relatively well. The Pro sold pretty well. They're
gonna do it bigger. They're gonna have 3 SKUs.
Oh my god. Personally,
think about it this way, right? They tested the waters. They found that they do have a high-end niche audience, right? They know that they got a budget audience from their Slim. Like, why would they not?
Brett, hold on, bro. I'm about to blow your mind. Think about it. Okay, you know how this gen we had fucking the Pro and the regular? They're just doing the shit out the gate now, son.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to come out
the gate. They'll
come out with
Microsoft with the Elite Xbox 360.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, man. And here's my question.
Your big boy pants on. Get some real gear.
Dude, the weird thing is they know that the Elites don't sell that well, but they're great for brand.
Say that again, Brett. The Elites don't what now?
The Elites don't sell all that well. They're not huge money makers, but they're great for the fucking brand.
They're great for fanboy
wars, yeah.
No, exactly.
They are. They're great for fanboy wars. They're great for civil fanboy wars, where Xboxers and other Xboxers. I'm dead serious. Oh, you just got the Lockhart, you peasant.
Yeah, no, I'm laughing because I saw that shit when the Xbox One X came out. Motherfuckers were making fun of the guys who had the regular Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the Xbox, you piece of shit.
Dude, but think about that in a business sense. You just made a competitor out of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an excellent position to be in.
Yeah, that's true.
What is that Xbox Sad Edition thing?
Yeah,
that's the diskless one.
Diskless, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All day digital, man.
I know people.
Yeah, Riku's there. He's been chilling, man, in the cut.
Yeah,
he's
in
just
the cut.
for the
Deep
Vita
in the
talk.
cut. Hell yeah,
man.
I'm waiting. I'm playing my Vita right now.
Yo, Riku, you got any thoughts on this, bro?
Riku, just get a Switch.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Jeez.
Oh, man, imagine if the Switch was the lowest common denominator.
There's no trophies on there, man. You can't get a platinum on
That's cool. I could be proud of myself.
Yeah. Anyway, we got any
take screenshots all day long.
Yeah, because Torrance, I know you got to get going. Any more last thoughts on this shit?
Well, no, I'm pretty amped now. Keep going.
I'll keep going.
Oh, you ready to throw down, son?
Yeah, I want want to hear what Riku has to say about this. No more handhelds with Sony.
Yeah, you know what? Let's make that the next topic then, man. So
that's not true.
Now, so Sony made it official now. No more handhelds from Sony, man. They said no. You know, that's it. It's over.
So like no.
Here's a curve on it. Yeah. It's gonna support tabletop. It got a kickstand. Oh, you don't need your hands. They got you. They saw you coming.
Yeah. Riku, man, set us off, man. My man's clearing his throat.
When I first heard this news, I was heartbroken. I wanted to kill myself.
Damn! Riku, don't go, man.
Wow! It's gonna be okay, Riku.
I'm just kidding. I did not want to go. But it did feel like a little kid inside me did die. He did explode, Fist of the North Star style. I understand it. Because when I think about like out of the big three, Microsoft was never really, Microsoft was not in the handheld stuff. PlayStation, they tried it twice, and apparently, according to people, both of them technically failed from a financial standpoint. And
like the asterisk on there, Riku.
I know, right? And as far as Nintendo, you say, oh well, Nintendo's the only one still inside the handheld. To me, technically, Nintendo and PlayStation, they basically, in my opinion, they basically did the same thing, where they don't. You could talk about what you want about the Switch Lite, but
it's a Vita.
It's still, they still went out of their way to combine their handheld and their console, their home console ecosystem together into one. I feel that was Nintendo's way of migrating into the future in regards to that. They don't really. I'm not considering the Switch Lite a.
Can we just call a spade and say and agree that Nintendo bitched out of the console market and went and hid in the handheld? Because that's essentially what happened.
I'll say it. I'll agree with you.
Here's the thing. I have to ask you guys this just as a side question. With Nintendo combining their handheld market and their home console market into one, ecosystem, which is the Switch. Do you think that they basically, what's the word I'm looking for? They basically kind of like locked themselves into where they are? And do you think it would be a smart or dumb decision if they ever did decide to split them back up into, let's say, next generation, where it is, oh yeah, we got a regular Nintendo home console now and we have a regular handheld? Do you think they would ever do that again? Or do you think that from this point on, all of Nintendo's whatever Nintendo makes in the future?
Well, are you asking a should or what they will do? Because what Nintendo never does anything that makes sense. Like, it's like they make decisions by rolling a dice.
That's true. You're right about that.
No, Riku, it's funny you mentioned that, because I did think about that. It's like, because I don't see how Nintendo could ever go back to the old model. I think I could be wrong, because this is Nintendo, and every time I say anything about Nintendo, I'm always fucking wrong. But it wouldn't make sense to me that they're on this path and then they're going to go backward in a sense. I think they're locked into this, just like you said. They're kind of stuck there.
I don't think that's an accident either. Like, I firmly believe
so either. Yeah, I agree.
No, it's definitely not, because it's something that once they do this, if they ever did go back, people are going to be like, I kind of like the little hybrid that you had going on. Yeah. And like I said, all of their developers aren't split. Like, Game Freak isn't over here working on only handheld shit, while this people are only working on the home stuff. Everybody is under the umbrella working on one thing. All trying to make this one, and this is my keywords here. All trying to make this one thing that Nintendo has as successful as possible. And when you look at PlayStation and Sony, I kind of said this. Back when you started to see the first signs of them slowly pushing the Vita into irrelevancy, it was I said this. They are focusing on the PlayStation 4. If the PlayStation 4 had not have been released when it got released, they would have still been pushing the Vita all the way up to the point of the PlayStation 4 coming out. Because the PS3 weren't really doing much with the PS3. So the Vita would have been like their newest thing on the market. I definitely feel they would have pushed it a lot more if the PS4 did not come out. Because when the PS4 came out, it was, that was Sony's main purpose, is to make the PlayStation 4 as successful as possible. Everything during that time is going to have to hit the back burner, and that's what happened.
Hold on, Riku. There's a couple of corrections. The Vita actually sales boosted after PS4 because of the connectivity, and even if Sony marketed bundles, they did bundles. But even let's just address the elephant in the room, right? The reason the Vita did not sell well is because of the memory cards. No amount of marketing would have helped that system because of that shit. You know,
I don't know about that. I definitely think if the Vita, let's say the Vita had a ridiculous amount of more good games, right? I think that would have
and motherfuckers would have spent $100 for 32 megabytes. It was the gigabytes. Nobody would have done that shit, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, I do think if it had the games, people wouldn't have cared. They would have been like, I got to do this for my game.
Disagree. That's a bitter pill to swallow, man. That's a lot of fun. I bought fucking for my 3DS, right? I bought a 32 gig memory card for like $30, right? For the Vita, the same fucking shit, $80, and I was on discount.
I feel people put too much weight on the failure being the memory cards. In my opinion,
it was super expensive. No, man. It was.
But the thing is,
it went off digital.
That was one factor.
Yeah, that was one. Yeah, it was one factor, but I don't think it's like
no HDMI output. Yeah, factor number two. That could have been the Switch before the Switch. I was telling y'all this on 127 or some shit. Yeah, and then the last factor: too many Monster Hunter clones and too many PS4 games.
I don't think I think the Monster Hunter clones helped it.
Nope.
But as far as I definitely think
so. Dude, I would go to fucking
Jetpack Joyride helped it.
GameStop, and I would look at that shelf of Vita games. Monster Hunter clone, Monster Hunter clone, Monster Hunter clone. It's like, what the fuck, man? Give me something to play. Or it was MLB, or another game that's already on PS4, or another game that's already on PS4.
A horrible ports like the Call of Duty, which was horrible.
That was a shitty one. Yeah, that was terrible.
They should have never did that one. If they put a solid Call of Duty title on there, everything would have been different, because that's what it needed.
Dude, it was the same problem with the PSP. It was the little brother of the console. It never got the direct attention. It never got the high profile things. Anything it got was a fucking port or a fucking spin-off. Like, there was no reason that you needed to own that system. There were little benefits to it. The only real reason that you needed to own the system, I would be real right now, is because you could fucking rip ROMs onto it, which is why that sold it faster than fucking everything else.
That is true.
The fact that people bought that thing like hotcakes when they thought they could put fucking Super Mario Brothers on it, but didn't give a shit when it came to what Sony was offering, has to tell you that it didn't have the software support to be received as a much-loved thing. Like, one of the reasons the Switch fucking came out of the gate swinging is they brought Breath of the Wild. You fucking tell me what Vita did that was anywhere near half that. Spoiler, there's nothing. And I'll show you the reason that it wasn't fucking well received.
Whatever.
The Uncharted game.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Riku. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just for a second. You know how I be.
I heard Riku get hurt when you said that shit.
Riku, I'm on your side, Riku. I want you to say this right now. Just say it here while we're on the podcast. The fucking Vita sucks.
No, it didn't.
Just say it, man. Come on, just say it.
It doesn't suck, because I still play it to this day, and I probably will be playing it for the next 5 years. That's how big my backlog is.
Until your shit breaks, then you got to get on eBay and get another one.
Actually, I already have another Vita.
You got a backup Vita?
Yeah, I got a backup brand new Vita just chilling here.
What if you open that shit? It didn't work. There ain't no warranty, motherfucker.
Tor's always trying to find the worst case scenario for my ass.
Torrents, man, you're crazy.
You call Sony, they're gonna be like, we don't support that anymore.
The fuck's that Vita? Look, no. I don't think it sucks. I think it was niche though. And like, I can see why Riku likes it, because Riku, a lot of the games that came out on it are definitely games up your alley. But they were too niche. They weren't quite. Dude, no, I'm looking at this. Look, I love Fallout 76. All right, this is coming from somebody who's like, look, I left with broken ass shit too.
Damn, Riku, man, we bringing you here to get killed tonight, son.
Riku's gonna call Sony. He's gonna call Sony for that warranty. They're gonna be like, man, you better get yourself a Switch.
Damn.
Like, sorry, wrong number.
You better call 1-800-USA Sega, motherfucker.
Yo,
Riku not gonna
we
be our
can go
friend
on, bro.
anymore.
Go on.
Anyway, like I was saying,
Oh my God.
so like in my opinion, I feel that everybody is focusing on devices that aren't really portable. I definitely do feel portables as a whole is definitely dead. Nintendo, like I said, Nintendo combined their thing. They're basically hybrid, and like we said, they're most likely going to be hybrid from this point on. And Sony's focusing on one device. Everybody's focusing on one device. There's no more of this juggling of two different platforms on one, from one company. Nobody's doing that anymore.
Sony's still trying to do the VR.
But here's the thing. Can you play the VR without a PlayStation 4?
No.
Okay,
it's just get a PC.
I guess.
The point.
I guess, but aren't there like PS4 exclusive VR games?
Yes.
Okay, well, I would assume that the VR was basically made for those games in specific. Yeah,
Right.
you could use it on. That's like saying, oh yeah, I could use a DualShock 4 on my PC. When I look at the VR, it's like one level above a PlayStation accessory.
Damn.
But, yeah, I wouldn't consider that another platform or
Even though it is another platform.
Yeah, but I wouldn't consider it that.
But it is. It's a factually another platform. It has games on it. It has more games on it than Vita does.
I don't know about that.
And I like Vita, Riku. I'm with you on the Vita shit, but even I have to admit, bro.
Let me drop a bomb on you.
You could say it's more financially successful. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
But I'm going to drop a bomb on you, Riku.
Uh-oh.
Those games don't even play on your TV, bro.
Yeah, they do Vita TV.
No, the VR games.
Yeah, I have a Vita, the PlayStation TV.
It comes with its own TV to play the games. You can't put that. You can't play that on your fucking Sony or your Samsung or LG.
Yeah, but don't you need a PS4 to power it?
Maybe, I don't know.
He said maybe. I don't know.
Get out of here!
Don't worry, Riku. I'm gonna play my Vita right now. I'm feeling it. I'm
playing Legend of Dragoon on my Vita.
You know what I want to do?
I'm not doing that.
I want to go. I want to get
playing skate on that motherfucker, man.
I'm playing that battery game. Hold on.
Charge that shit up, son.
I want to get a used broken Vita on eBay, but one that doesn't look broken, and fucking take a video smashing that shit to millions of pieces and sending it to Riku-san.
Riku, I'm gonna break your heart. Pretty sure I just threw my Vita away.
Oh shit!
Oh,
what?
Wow.
You just threw it away?
Damn, you threw it away?
Yo, man, you must be rolling in money, throwing Vitas out in the garbage, getting new TVs.
It's like a $30 fucking console. It's not worth a goddamn
How much did you pay for that? You didn't pay $30 I can tell you that.
Oh God, no.
Yo, hold on.
I'm pretty sure it's in a box somewhere.
Damn, hold up. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Spawn on Me. They're in the house right now, and it's Khalif, man. What's up, brother? He goes, his Vita is in the junk drawer. Fuck.
Whoa. Well, Tony, yours is in the junk drawer still, right?
No, it's not. I actually charged it up the other day, man. I could bring that shit out right now, man.
Yo, you know what's in my junk drawer? The PSVR a week after I got it.
Oh shit.
That's true.
You crazy, man.
You know what was in my junk drawer? Oh shit!
Anyway,
let
me just I'm just gonna end it with what I was saying. My key point where no company, it seems, is really juggling two platforms anymore.
I gotta say, Riku, I love how you're doing a dissertation.
Like he takes this shit seriously.
He's tried. Like his resolve is remarkable.
Yeah. Hey man, it's serious shit when we talk of Vita with Riku, man.
Oh, yeah, that's why we had to have Riku on tonight, man. Yeah. Oh, by the way, quickly, Brett, if it's not too much trouble, can you get yourself back on camera? Because we had a lot of positive comments to your living room, man, and the way you were pacing around. They're like, they like that shit. It's hilarious.
Yo, man, you get some movement in there, man.
There you go.
As long as you don't mind me moving around, like Tony hates it when I just pace around.
Yeah, but you're not. Wait. I got to stop that right now, Brett. I didn't like that when you were doing that in front of me physically. I don't give. You're like a million miles away. I don't give a fuck. But no, that was like because by the way, quickly when Brett was here visiting, like he was always pacing around, and I think one time I literally grabbed him and sat him down. I was like, "Sit the fuck down!" It was just too much. But
when he was pacing just now, I'm like, "How's he on the show and walking?"
No, but I'm like, he's over there. I don't give a fuck. You pace all you want, and the fans like it. So go ahead.
Yeah,
man.
you know, he just he'll lean on his fireplace and be like, "Hey, you know what I think?"
Come on, man. You got fucking animals there too, man. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Brett's a thinker. That's why he paces.
Brett, you need a pipe and a scotch while you do the show.
Dude, I really do.
Yeah, people love the background, man. So gotta have it, you know, and the pacing. I
gotta come up and like silently brew it on the fireplace and then turn around and make a point.
Yes. Bring out the katana next time, though. All right. I think we're done there. Torrance, you still want to stick around, bro?
Yeah, you know what?
Because we're gonna go down memory lane right now, man.
Yeah. Congratulations, PlayStation 25.
Yeah. 25 years of PlayStation, man.
Let the circle jerk commence. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I will see you on the next show.
I knew this motherfucker. Anyway, Torrance, thanks for being. All right, hold on. Before you go, man, thank you for being on, and then of course, congratulations to joining the coalition
and the family.
Yes,
and thank you. Enjoy doing that Mech Warrior review.
Right.
Torrance, congratulations on coming back to the industry. I left on 2013.
Unfortunately, I will not be returning to the industry at any point.
Yo,
that poor guy.
Oh God! All right, Torrance, man. We'll see you, man.
Y'all.
Peace out, man.
Yeah, man. I love you Westerners. You stressed me out.
I love how Torrance this when we were about to praise the PlayStation right now, son. He said, "Fuck that shit."
He wanted to stay to roast me on the Vita. He was supposed to be gone a long time ago.
You know?
Damn.
But yeah, this week marks the 25th anniversary of the North American launch of the PlayStation, right? So right now, I want to look back at all 25 years of PlayStation, including the Vita, Riku. You know? Actually, Riku, why don't you start us off, man? Give us some of your favorite PlayStation memories, games, all that shit, man.
When I think PlayStation memories, the first thing that comes to mind is Tekken 3 for the PlayStation 1. Fucking love that game. It was back when I didn't even have a PlayStation. At that time, I had a Dreamcast. My cousin was the one with the PS1, and I was like, a PlayStation. First of all, when I heard PlayStation for the first time, I was like, is that like a? I thought it was like a location that you go and it was like a place where you just play. It was a station that you would go and play. So I was like, what the fuck is a PlayStation? And then he was like, it's a game console. I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought it was, like I said, a location where you go, like,
wait, you thought it was like an actual physical place you go to?
Yeah, I literally thought it was a place because it said station. I'm like, okay, station. Okay. Is it some location you go and you play stuff? We're like, okay. Like,
it's the
like,
PlayStation
in Jersey.
location.
It's in Jersey.
Yeah,
Jersey.
Yeah, because when I heard my cousin got, I was like, you just bought a whole location with a station? What the? So I was playing Tekken 3. Shit's awesome. That's how come I love Mega Man X5 so much. Even though everyone considers that, you know, one of the when people say Mega Man X, that's when Mega Man X started to not get good and whatnot stuff. But he had Mega Man X5. He didn't have 4, 3, 2, or 1. Didn't play any of that. 5 was the first one that I played. So I was like, okay, this is what I like. This is what I grew up on. A Bug's Life on the PS1. For some reason, that game was really good. For some reason, I think PS1 licensed games were better than any other generation.
Well, I mean, there's also the previous
Super
generation,
Nintendo
16-bit ones that were actually a lot of really.
Those were really good too. Okay, I'll rephrase that. I think that was the last generation that had good license games.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I could agree with that.
Yeah, so a lot of those were really good, and you know, PS2 was, like I said, when everybody was doing that hashtag on Twitter about their favorite PlayStation console, I chose the PS2. PS2, that's the one that I had, because when my Dreamcast died and I wanted a GameCube, and I said, Dad, I want a GameCube. You know why? Because that's where Sonic is going. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is on the GameCube. I want a GameCube, you know? And he came home with a PlayStation 2. I was like, what the fuck is that shit? I was so mad I didn't play that bitch for a month when I had it.
Oh man.
And then I got bored one day. I was like, all right, fine. Let me just play this PS2 that he bought me. I was so mad. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna play this shit because I'm actually bored now. And I was like, okay, what did he get me? He got me Street Fighter EX3, okay, and Dynasty Warriors 3. I don't even know what the fuck that is. I'll play them. And it was just
And a legend was born.
And a legend was born. After that, I was just like, I love PS2. Everything PlayStation. It was all downhill from there, or uphill, as you know, some people would say. Fucking loved it. PlayStation.
Father, thank you for the Dynasty Wars.
Yeah, man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be so heavy in the Dynasty Wars. But I did not actually like Street Fighter EX that much. I like the characters, not the gameplay, though.
Yeah. So, Manny, you got something very special back there.
Oh, you mean this? You mean my original PlayStation boxed in its original box?
Crazy.
Yes.
Wait. Are we doing an unboxing of the PlayStation?
Do you want me to do an unboxing of the original
man.
PlayStation? All right, let me do this for you.
It's a celebration of PlayStation. Unbox that shit.
So yeah, unbox the original. So this one is actually not a first version of the PlayStation. It's actually a later one. But as you can see, I still have my two controllers at the top there.
Nice.
Never came with two controllers, by the way.
No, I didn't.
You had to buy those things separate. So there we go. We got this right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up so you can see I put everything back as it was supposed to.
It better not have thumbsticks. The controller don't have thumbsticks.
Yeah, I actually never got the DualShock until the PlayStation 2. I always played it with the original. So here's all of our wiring right here.
Yo, what is going on in the chat right now, man? Yo, Khalif, you're crazy, bro.
The DualShock was the DualShock 1 was the first PlayStation 1 controller that I had, and I remember I went to a friend's house and he had the original PlayStation controller without the analogs, and I was like, "Yo, what's wrong with your controller?"
Man, you're getting compliments right now. People are saying you kept that shit really clean.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
Look at that shit, man.
Oh, it's the old PlayStation.
Damn,
I can't remember.
Oh, that click, man.
I can't remember. I know one way to tell that this is an original one is just by the way the way the laser is in the back. I think you can press the little button there. I think this is the older version one. So, but yeah, there you go. My old school PlayStation. I don't remember. I know this one was a later one, and you couldn't do some of the tricks that you could with the other ones. But yeah,
you didn't have to lay it down on its top so it doesn't overheat. Remember that?
Oh shit? No, this one lasted me all the way up to PlayStation 2 era. In fact, the only reason why I put it reboxed it again is because PlayStation 3 could play. I mean, PlayStation 2 could play everything the one could. So
here's the question though: what are memory cards at?
The memory cards. Oh, that's the second part.
Oh, where's the demo disc? We're getting asked right now.
The demo disc. The demo disc is actually in here.
Oh, nice.
This is a special thing because this is from back in the day. Used to become part of something called the PlayStation Underground, and if part of the PlayStation Underground, what you used to do. Here's a network adapter disc, by the way.
Oh shit!
What you used to do is you used to get all kinds of cool stuff, like demos and stuff they used to send you in the mail. So this one was a special thing that you got they called it the PlayStation Advisory Panel. Oh, so here's one of the demo discs there. I think the other demo disc is with all my other games in here. So what you used to be able to, what is this? This is a GameStop receipt. Oh no, this one's
it's a love letter. I miss you. Come back.
I thought that shit was from Funko Land or something.
Oh no, this was a GameStop one. That's a more recent one. But yeah, so in here I have all of my stuff. But here's the big thing here.
Oh,
this is a letter from this
Kojima.
Is my advisory panel certificate. So apparently, years ago, I was actually part of the PlayStation advisory panel, advisory panel, and it's actually signed by Andrew House. You can see it right there.
Hey, your buddy Andrew House. Your buddy Andrew House, man. We got stories about him from E3, but we're not going to say those on air.
You can't talk about that. But yeah, and it came with a cool letter that said, "Hey, welcome to the advisory panel. All kinds of different. They send you all kinds of demos to look over and all kinds of other fun stuff."
Manny Khalif wants to know where's the KB Toys receipt.
KB Toys. I never bought that at KB Toys, man. It was Software Etc. I bought that at. In fact, at the time, Adam used to work at Software Etc.
Yeah, when I was still around.
That was at the key moment of PlayStation. Was it 1997? Yeah. Right. When
I remember Final Fantasy 7 just came out, and Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm. And then the following, and that's the year that I bought it. I can't remember when did the Sega Saturn come out?
1995, same year.
95.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I waited until the year Final Fantasy VII came out, and that's when I bought.
1997 then. So
1997.
Yeah.
When I bought that thing, and then the following year, 1998, was Metal Gear Solid.
Nice, nice. Yeah. By the way, you guys in the chat right now, please follow Spawn on me on Twitch, man. Fucking awesome show. And they've been supporting us forever, man. I love the history lesson you got going over there, Manny. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it's PlayStation. I've ever since the one I've always had one, and it's been a cool ride.
Oh yeah, 34th Street Mall was crazy. Yeah, man.
Yeah, 34th Street Mall. I mean, I used to buy. Let's see, what was it on the second floor?
They had one on the second floor, and then they had one across the street.
Yeah, that's actually that's the flagship.
Yeah, that's a flagship store now. Yeah, because now they got that second floor, the basement level.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a lot of really great memories on the original PlayStation. It's just, I remember showing because when I bought the PlayStation, that was around when Sega Saturn was kind of getting a little bit iffy, right? And I know Tony was like, "What the fuck is this shit? You stupid PlayStation."
Yeah, I was a hater. But what about
I sold haters, Tony?
What happened? By the way, I did call the PlayStation something else, but I can't say that on air anymore.
So Tony did not have any sort of love for the original PlayStation.
Yeah, I didn't get to PlayStation until PlayStation 2. I guess I'll jump from there because remember we're covering all PlayStation tonight, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got into it basically. Like the Dreamcast died. Hold on, let me get myself a fucking camera. I've told this story before. So the Dreamcast died, and I'm not lying. I literally thought I'm not gonna be gaming anymore. Gaming is dead. Sega's dead. Gaming is dead. Right. So for like 6 months, I just play games. I was still playing my Sega Saturn games and Sega Dreamcast games.
I knew that was total bullshit at the time. I'm like, this motherfucker ain't gonna give up no games.
But I thought that's the way I felt, man.
Dude, I was right there with you, Tony.
So Brad, you feel me, right? It's like, oh, gaming is dead.
No, dude, I feel you because it was Sega or Nintendo, and Nintendo was kind of the lame kiddie.
Yeah,
Nintendo one that fucking got you, and now they're dead. And it's just a barren landscape of just Nintendo. What kind of dystopian future is this going to be?
Yeah, because Nintendo was not an option. Microsoft was definitely not a fucking option. I was like, Xbox, what the fuck is this shit? So I wasn't fucking with that at all. But me and Manny's boy, right? Shout out to Mike. He knew somebody that was selling PlayStation 2s for like $150, right? $150. Maybe the shit fell off the back of a truck. We don't fucking know. So me and Manny both got it. It was the Gran Turismo edition. Remember that, Manny?
Yep, I still actually have the box. I didn't bring it out because I didn't bring it out because there's no PlayStation inside of it. The PlayStation 2 is underneath my TV right now.
Yeah. So I got the PlayStation 2, and the first game I bought for it was Metal Gear Solid. Because the thing is, I would see Manny playing Metal Gear Solid at home, right? And Final Fantasy VII. Now, I would be like, yeah, those games are cool, but I had to keep up the front. I'm like, but they ain't on Saturn though, man. Fuck those games, right? But inside, I'm like, fuck, I kind of want those games, fam. So the first fucking game I bought was Metal Gear Solid, and then like an idiot, I didn't buy Final Fantasy VII. You know what I bought instead? Brett, you're gonna make fun of me for this one. I bought Final Fantasy eight.
Oh, son! What a poor decision.
Oh man, the only Final Fantasy I ever sold, by the way.
Because I'm like, I want that future Final Fantasy, right? Oh my fucking god, man! I got to this 4, I stopped playing that fucking game. Like, this is bullshit.
You know what's crazy about that Final Fantasy 8? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I was supposed to be starting Final Fantasy 8 after I finished Cold Steel 3. I'm not starting Final Fantasy 8.
Oh yeah!
Pushing it back some. I was like, ooh, Legend of Dragoon. Let's play that.
Yeah. Manny, G0 wants to know, can you play imports on that?
I don't. I see. That was the trick, right? With where you push the button on the back of the thing. I think this one's a little bit more of a newer model because by 1997 and at that time, a lot of those they kind of figured.
Because you had to spin longer. There was a little plastic piece that you had to put inside to keep it spinning, and then that's how you keep playing.
It was what was it like? I think.
Well, I had the Pro Action Replay with the spring.
Oh shit!
So you put the
that was it. It was just
to keep the lid from closing, and then you put in a US disc, and then it stops it, and then you put in the import disc, and it'll play.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, just to finish off. So yeah, I got the PlayStation 2 reluctantly. I liked Gran Turismo 3. It was actually dope. And then shortly after that, Metal Gear Solid 2, fucking Final Fantasy X. I still call it X till this day. I don't give a fuck. Final Fantasy X. And I'm like, but the whole generation. And I played the greatest fucking games. You know, all Grand Theft Autos, Prince of Persia, God of War, all that shit, right? I love those games. But I didn't love the PlayStation because I was still bitter that my Dreamcast died. You know? It was like... Damn, can I even make this analogy on air anymore, man? I hate how
I'm still bitter about it today.
Yeah. So it was like basically, you know, I got with this girl, you know, you know, it was good, you know, but I didn't love her, you know what I'm saying? But the sex was good. So that's how I felt about the PlayStation 2. Going on to PlayStation 3, I'm like, oh shit, I love this woman. She's fantastic. You know, the lay's good and she's fucking great to talk to. That's when I fell in love with the PlayStation brand, with PlayStation 3. That's when I was like, all right, PlayStation is the fucking shit. And then PlayStation 4 obviously continued that great system as well, you know. And then of course,
wearing the hat and everything.
Yeah, man, look at the hat, bro. And PlayStation I got the PSP. That was dope. Vita was dope. The only one I didn't fuck was VR. You guys already know my stance on VR, you know. But yeah, PlayStation is the shit, man. I love PlayStation, you know. That's that. Let's move on here. Carlos, man, tell us your PlayStation journey.
So, my PlayStation journey is kind of like a lot of the journeys, like a lot of the stuff that happened in the 90s. I don't remember most of it, but I know I had a PlayStation 1, and I know I played most of the time I spent playing those PlayStation Underground discs because I didn't really. Yeah, man, I didn't really have money to get video games that frequently. So it's either like birthday and Christmas when I used to get all my games, and there wasn't a Blockbuster near me at that time. So I relied on those PlayStation Underground discs. I mean, I played that first level of Metal Gear Solid like hundreds of times.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh, so you were part of the PlayStation Underground too, right? So you could log into the website and all that stuff.
Well, I didn't have a computer, so I didn't.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but you got what was it? You registered for it, and then what you did was you
I did it through mail. I think
that's how you used to be able to do it before, and then later on when things got a little bit, the online stuff got a little more prevalent. That's at least for me when I started like, okay, I'm gonna make a little make the thing. In fact, for me, my PlayStation Underground login, I actually transferred it over when PlayStation 3 came around. So the same name that I've had all the way back from PlayStation Underground days is the same thing that I have now.
Damn. Yeah, I don't even know where my discs are at, because I used to get the magazine, and then it would always come with those discs. And I still remember PlayStation Underground number 8 was my favorite one. I think that one came out with Gran Turismo. It came out with Metal Gear. It came out with Ape Escape, I think. It had so many freaking good. They were just demos, but I treated them like they were full-fledged games.
Demos back in the day, man.
Demos
back in the day.
Spyro. I used to play the Spyro demo, and that shit, I didn't need the game. I just played the Spyro demo all day, And so yeah, and I also got like regular games. I got the.
That's why we don't have demos anymore, because of that shit. People are like, damn, all they do is play this. No demos.
Yep. Yeah, so I played. I think I played most of the big games. I played some of the Final Fantasies. I think I played 7 and what else came out? 9, I think. I played on the PlayStation. Metal Gear, Solid 1. Yeah, so I played most of the big games that came out for PlayStation 1, and then I got the PlayStation 2, when I was in elementary school, or late elementary school, and yeah, it was pretty good. I think I got more games for that one, but I don't even know where my freaking PlayStation 2 is at. I think I sold it, because I still have my PlayStation 1 with me. And yeah, I got a PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 was pretty sick. Man, I got that shit at launch too. And I still got it with me, the PlayStation 3 Fat with the backwards compatibility.
Does it still work?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Damn, that's rare right there.
That's
bro.
a rarity right there.
Yeah.
It's
everybody's fat in here died.
Mine's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine died twice.
Mine died too.
Actually,
Oh, twice also here too.
Well, that thing I'm hitting is a PlayStation 3.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah, like you can't show it. Just you gotta slap it.
Yeah.
But that does sound like a PlayStation 3, man. I recognize that slap.
It's got that the SD tray thing, you know.
Yeah.
Because some of the other versions don't have it.
Oh yeah, yours has those you know, like for SD cards and all kinds of stuff. And it has additional USB ports in there too.
Yep, it has extra USB ports.
I think it even had a compact flash port.
Yes. It's a compact flash, SD, mini SD, and a Pro Stick memory card slot.
Yeah. And the one that came out in 2008? Is that the 2008 one?
That's probably the 2008
Oh, you said the launch one.
No, I have the launch one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I bought the
60 gig one, right?
Yeah, I think it is a 60 gig.
Yeah.
Does it say anywhere?
Because there was a 20 gig one too. But the 60 gig, that's the one with all the bells and whistles on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
I thought mine was the best one. It was the one that came with Metal Gear Solid 4. It was 80
Yeah.
gig. It had 4 ports. It had literally everything you were saying backwards compatible.
Well, the one thing about that one is the backward compatibility was all emulation on that.
Yeah, it was all
version.
emulation. Yeah,
that's the same one I have. And then the other thing is that it doesn't have all of the all of the different slots as the one. In fact, that was the last time they actually did all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because that one, after that point, they did a version of the PlayStation, the fat version, but it didn't have any of those ports and no backward compatibility. And then they dropped everything on the next one.
What I want to do with this one is open it and like clean it really well and reapply the thermal paste and everything.
Yeah, got to do that.
And yeah, because it still works. There's no issues with it. It just sounds like a freaking rocket ship.
Yeah,
it's only,
something that's endemic with all PlayStation systems.
Man. Oh yeah,
it's funny. It's funny. That's the one thing that like the Xbox had gotten the bad thing from from the original ones where all of those things kind of bricked, right? But PlayStation 3 didn't have such good thermal paste inside of it, and eventually all of them would die at some point.
Well, the ironic thing of all of that is the Xbox ones got messed up. And they had a power brick. The PlayStation consoles had the power brick inside.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was because the motherboard.
Oh,
because of the motherboard.
No, I paused.
Right.
The engine in it was so bad that the heat distorted the motherboard, so the motherboard would kind of curl up and break the connections that it had.
Yeah, it would pop the chip right off the board. So what would you do? What you would do is you'd have to resolder the thing on there. That was the worst case scenario part of it.
It's just fucking heavy.
Yeah. All right.
That's a giant fan that's in the bottom of that thing.
Yeah, that was big. I remember that. Adam, man, tell us about PlayStation, man. Whatever you want. Take it wherever you want.
Oh, by the way, Vita, PSP, PlayStation 4, PSVR.
You own all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Adam. Whatever you want to say about PS4, go ahead, man.
Shit, man. Well, the one that really comes to mind. Well, it's two things. One is when I got my PlayStation 1, I did one of those massive trade-ins. I traded in my Sega CD, my Genesis, some other shit that my 3DO, all the games. I traded all in to get a PlayStation. And I remember I wound up getting the PlayStation, a memory card, second controller, Mortal Kombat, and ESPN 3 and ESPN X games.
It's funny because that was again that was early PlayStation, and I remember when you did that, when you said you were going to buy the new thing. I'm like, oh man, you selling out, because I was still all about. The last thing I was still playing. I was still playing 3DO at the time. I'm like, you're like, man, that console's dead.
Well, that was the thing, is because I remember going to the stores at the time and looking. I'm like, there were no games getting released for it, but then here's this PlayStation and all these big titles, and it was the more popular arcadey titles that we wanted. So it just seemed like the obvious choice. But
and then Return Fire ended up on there, and I'm just like, fuck. That was a good game.
Then what else did I get after? I think after that one, I kept that for a while, and then I didn't get a PlayStation 2. I wound up getting an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And I went the route of the Xbox because it had the hard drive and it had the RJ45 network port, and I saw all the possibilities. So I'm like, yo, that's my console of choice.
You were like, this is the future.
That was the future. Eventually, I did get a PS2 to do some trickery with it.
Didn't I buy you one?
Wait, we're getting to that, right? Because I did trickery with my first Xbox, but then I wanted to play some other games that were only on the PlayStation. Did trickery with that one, then had some issues with the girl I was with at the time, and she wound up getting that. Then I moved. Then that's when Manny came along, and he wound up getting me the silver one, PlayStation 2, with God of War 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And so that was my thing. But here's the thing. So then after that, I stayed Xbox. That was it. I had my 360. I was 360 all the way. I didn't get a PS3 until the end of the life cycle when The Last of Us came out.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, oh, I want to play this game. And I wound up getting, it was a Black Friday sale because it came with the, not the Uncharted series, the other one that was big with, what's his name? It was like a superhero game. Infamous. It came with the Infamous collection. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So I get all these games. And I loved it. I played that. Then I wound up getting the Uncharted games. I played all the Uncharted games on there. I enjoyed it. But again, eventually I wound up getting the Xbox One. PS4 was after the fact. After I realized how fucking Microsoft screwed up on the interface and all the features on my Xbox One. It was horrible. And I was like, a lot of my buddies already had jumped ship to the PS4. They're like, yo, man, we're done. We're just going to go and play on PlayStation. So I was like, fuck. So I wound up getting that. And I loved it. I was like, you know what? It's smooth. It's simple. The interface. All my games are on here that I want to play anyway. So, and even though at the time I already had the 100K Chivos on my Xbox, and I was like, whatever. I'll start getting trophies. And then I jumped over. And that was it. And it's no biggie. I mean, that's still there. I still go on to play Gears. Still playing Gears with my boy and stuff. But, PlayStation right now is killing it. And that's my main platform of choice.
Yo, I'm gonna ask what Riku's thinking, man. How many plats you got, man?
Was it 18? I think 19. I don't remember.
Not bad, man.
Okay, at least you're in the 2 digits.
Yeah,
as far as I know, Adam, you're on like you're getting close to the third. I think you're a level 30 right now, as I remember.
I mean, well, that's the thing because I play a lot of games and I get a lot of the trophies and stuff. But it's been a while actually. I want to say the last platinum I got was Spider-Man. I mean, I think it was Spider-Man. I was gonna go for the Modern Warfare.
There's no way you're level 30. I'm level 30. I got way more platinums than you.
Was it level? No, maybe level 20. That's what.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Something. Yeah, I know I'm there.
Because I think I'm 25 or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But I'm like, yo, I'm 30 right now.
But here's the thing, though. Now think about because it's all PlayStation related.
I got the PlayStation. I'm about to check this shit.
Adam is level 18 right now, and he's got 18. About 30 platinum.
All right.
Oh wow! All right,
so 30. Damn. Yo, Rick, I know you're proud right now, man.
So good job, man. Yeah. I try. But even though I kind of wishy-washy on the main consoles, I did not wishy-wash on the handhelds. I got the PSP day one, right?
Yeah.
I also got my Vita day one.
Right.
I did pre-orders on those things, and I was super hyped on it. And the only downfall really was that for me was the price of those memory cards.
Yeah, man.
So expensive because I was looking forward to having it all digital in there and not having to carry all the little games and shit. I'm like, fuck, now I still got to do it. Because it was very expensive. Eventually, I wound up getting that 64 gig card, but it was like $100.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And it's still pricey, and I think that really killed them later down the road because when they did the redesign and they wound up doing the Borderlands 2 bundle, which still ran horrible because I wound up getting the Borderlands one and it still didn't. I was like, oh, too bad. But if only everybody was really hoping that they would switch away from the proprietary SD card and go with a standard, so that way everybody could just put like a 512 or something.
They did it with the cable.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they swapped the cable. They swapped that. So it's like, yo, if they would have did that, especially at that point, they were really focusing on doing remember they were porting a lot of other mobile games onto it. Jetpack Joyride and a bunch of them. They were really boosting. And they even said the numbers were showing that even though people really weren't buying the units, the game sales was like what was it? It was like a 10-to-1 ratio.
The attach rate.
The attach rate was sick. People were really buying the games on it. But I don't understand their logic with keeping that proprietary.
Well, the thing is, apparently they did those memory cards just so people couldn't do what they did with the PSP with all the hacks and shit. That's why they did that. But
they still did it, man.
It backfired on them anyway, you know?
Yeah, I got RetroArch running on my shit over there. they can't fight that shit. Can't fight it.
Here's my PSP.
I still got those too, man.
The Metal Gear Solid.
Nice.
Big Boss.
As a matter of fact, fun fact, I don't have it right now, but my PSP is Manny's old PSP.
You know what? You know why? You know why I bought that one? Because I didn't know there was going to be a special PSP for Metal Gear 5. So I bought that silver PlayStation portable, for Peace Walker, because I knew it was coming, and I got a couple of games on it. And then when the special one came out, I'm like, oh, I'm getting the crazy one. So I sold you that one.
I bought that from you. Yeah. I played a lot of PSP, man. PSP was fucking dope.
Yeah, I had a few PSPs. I still have some. Yeah.
I still got my Vitas hanging out on the desk here too.
Nice. All right, let's move
every so often when I get the urge to play one of those, play a game, it's on the 4.
Right. Yeah, we could talk about that.
I still got my 1989 Game Boy. Still works on this shit.
Yeah, yours has been pimped, man.
Yeah, I got pimped. I want to move. We still got more PlayStation memories. Chris, get in here, man. Tell us about PlayStation.
All right. Well, I got PS1 pretty much when it after my freshman year. I think I got in '96 or so, and I remember I was still mad at Sega for the Saturn. I was angry at the world. I was angry at Sega for the Saturn. So I was like, fuck it, I'll give Sony a shot. And I think one of my first games might have been Vagrant Story.
Oh shit!
I remember I liked that game a lot. Yeah, that game.
So you never got the big boxed PlayStation games?
I had a couple of those.
Wait, what was the name of that game? What was it?
Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story.
It's an RPG going like it.
All right, that's why.
Yeah. And it played kind of like Parasite Eve, where you had the spear of where you could attack and all this stuff. And that one didn't have any voice in it. I was kind of shocked for a CD game. It was all this promise of music and stuff. It had music, but everything was in word balloons. But then, I got Final Fantasy VII, I remember, and I was like shocked. I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And I remember when I got Metal Gear Solid, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how cinematic the game was. I was like, all these cutscenes. I'm like, let me get some popcorn and watch this shit.
I remember with Metal Gear Solid, and this is back in the days of video game magazines, and like just seeing because Adam got me into Metal Gear. He was the first one to get it.
I loved Metal Gear
on the Nintendo. We loved that game. We played that game together whenever he would come over. And then once they started having those, they started showing screenshots of them inside of the new game. They say Metal Gear's a new Metal Gear Solid. I'm like, wait a minute, Metal Gear finally? They're making a sequel to it after stupid Snake's Revenge?
Yeah.
Shoot, man. I mean, think about till this day. I don't know any game that had an advertisement that was that engaging. I mean, you looked at a Metal Gear one and you saw all the different tools and gear and the goggles. I'm like, oh my God, I could be the ultimate spy. I need this.
Yeah, so like when seeing those original screenshots, like you seeing the stealth camouflage, like the Predator, and like they show shots of Revolver Ocelot because and all that stuff. It was so awesome.
All right, Chris, go on, man.
Yeah, so I started getting bootlegs too. So what happened is I got the Pro Action Replay because I always liked Game Genie and Game Shark back in the day. So I got that, and I didn't realize somebody told me, it's like, oh yeah, you could use that to play imports and bootlegs. I was like, oh shit. So my buddies in college always like come by and like, oh, I ripped this game or ripped that game. And I had this whole collection of bootlegs I play on there. I remember I ended up buying some of them. Like I remember I had Resident Evil 3. I had a bootleg of that. I had a bootleg of Dino Crisis 2. I ended up buying those games properly, but that's how I first got them. My buddy would just rip them. He would go on IRC and get all these games and then just burn them. And I used to try to hack codes with the Action Replay also. I remember making codes for that Evil Dead game that was kind of like Resident Evil.
Yes.
Yeah, Hail to the King.
Hail to the King.
I would hack codes. And then when I forgot what year it was, but I was working in I had an old web portal in Manhattan, and my boss there, he knew a guy at EB, and he was like, "Yo, my buddy said," and I was like, I wanted a PlayStation 2, but they were sold out everywhere. People getting stabbed for them, so I'm like, all right, I'll wait. And he's like, "Oh, my buddy at the store, he's gonna put aside PlayStation. I'll tell him put aside one for you. You could just buy it later." I was like, "Yes, hell yes." We left the office. We went and fucking got a PS2. And I remember I got Summoner and Orphan and some other. They were terrible games.
Oh man,
I admit, I was not impressed as I was with PS. With the beginning of PS2, that was rough. Summoner was not a good RPG. Orphan was not a good game.
Was that one based off the anime?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It even had cutscenes like the show. But yeah, that start was rough. But I mean, stuff picked up. It got a lot better. I mean, I think maybe to this day the biggest library of games I might have is PS2.
Nice.
I mean,
PS2 was awesome, man.
Yeah.
For me, it was those EA big games playing NBA Street and stuff that really got me hooked. Oh man, killed it.
I never played those sports games. Yeah, I always except for racing. Like I played racing games, so that's it.
It's funny, like for me, like after the Genesis, I kind of stopped playing sports games. That's weird.
Did you play extreme sports or did you play just
like you played the Tony Hawk with me and stuff?
No, I mean here's the thing. I never owned that game before. I mean, I did own Aggressive Airline for PlayStation 2, which but I never remember that. After that point, like after the original, Genesis and the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, like I didn't buy any more sports games, which is interesting. Maybe Ready to Rumble for Dreamcast, but is that? I guess it's a sport.
Yeah, for me, the last sports game was NBA Jam. If that even counts.
NBA Jam for what? For like
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah, that's the last one I had, and then after that, I didn't care.
I think I have NBA Jam, the last NBA Jam for Dreamcast.
Yeah, because I'm not to derail it, but it's like to me the sports game just became too realistic. I want some fantasy type of shit,
Yeah, that's where the EA big games came. Those streets, man.
Yeah, those.
I remember Mutant League Football, bro. Remember that shit?
Yeah, it's still around. Yo, you can play that now on Switch.
Oh shit, for real? The original one?
Yeah, yeah, Mutant League. They put that shit on Switch.
Yeah, that game was awesome, man. All right, Chris, anything else? PlayStations?
Well, I mean, I've had all the main consoles. I have a couple of PSPs. One of them, Adam modded for me, my original PSP.
I remember that.
He modded that, and then my buddy Mike showed me the UMD dumper, and then it was.
There you go. Yeah,
that game over, man.
It came over for everybody. Shit, I knew people that would when there were certain games that you can before some blockbusters and others mom and pops had it where you could rent them. Like, oh, can I take a look at the book and the game? I want to see it. Like, really,
and that's one thing. I always had that PSP on me because you hooked me up with the emulators, and I had the ROMs on there, and it was my music back then, and I could watch movies on it. So I used to bootleg like some shows, and watch them on the subway, on my PSP. So yeah, but
it's a great little device, man.
Yeah, I loved it, and I remember PS4. I only got PS4 when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and I bought the fat one. I think I got it refurbished at the time, and I got Metal Gear Solid 4. But I was like, I need this game. Like that was what I was like. Okay, now I'm buying a PS3, and PS4. I waited a little while. This generation I waited a little while because I got Xbox One first. So I was playing that. And then, I mean, everybody was on PlayStation. I was like, all right, I'll get on there. And then GTA 5 happened. And
shit.
That's all she wrote for that. And I mean, I have to say, I did like the Vita a lot. Like I played quite a few things on there, and I enjoyed being able to go to bed. And I remember I was like, oh, I got to try this remote play. So I tried it with Far Cry 4, and I was playing Far Cry 4 in my bed on my Vita, and I was running on the PlayStation. I blew my mind. I was like, holy shit, I can just play my main games on here.
You remember at the old place? That's what I used to do at the back then. Like, you know, because I wasn't playing when we lived together. We couldn't play anything, so I just play like whatever game I had on the Vita then.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing I don't have is PSVR.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't have that.
All right, Brett, man, tell us some PlayStation stories, bro.
All right, I'm unmuted now, right?
Yes.
Yep.
The cool thing is I actually saw you unmute yourself.
Hey. Forgot that thing was on. I'm just sitting here playing Pokemon.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't see you there.
Oh, hello.
All right. That is literally right there.
Amazing.
Okay. So I had the original PlayStation. I've had every PlayStation. I'll just start by saying that. Had the PlayStation. The timeline gets a little fuzzy. I had it with my Nintendo 64. Back in the day. So let's see. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega. Then was it Nintendo 64?
Yeah, it was the same
PlayStation. Yeah. I think that was the order, and then Dreamcast, and Dreamcast. I skipped the Saturn because I was still saving up for the Saturn when the Dreamcast came out. Whoa. So like that, it was hard, man. It was hard back in those days. So Dreamcast came out, and I was like, oh shit, yes. I wanted the Dreamcast so bad. I know we're not talking about the Dreamcast, but I'm talking about it. Goddammit. So I wanted the Dreamcast so bad, and I didn't manage to get the pre-order in because I didn't have the money in time. But I finally got the money, like the day it released. I was calling all around. I couldn't find one. And my dad's friend came back. And he's like, "Yeah, I was trying to make sure that I got one, and I accidentally, placed 2 orders, and now I've just stuck with 2." And I was like, "Holy shit, can I buy one?" And so he let me buy it, and I was just distraught when it died. So when it came down to the PlayStation 2, I had one, but I was very unhappy with, like Tony was. I was almost mad at it.
Yep.
That's the third person to say that tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck you, PlayStation 2." I mean, you're a DVD player, so you can stay, but I'm watching you. So, unlike Tony, I had gotten into PC gaming with like Command and Conquer and stuff like that. So I was really excited when Xbox announced their system, especially since it was the spiritual successor to Dreamcast.
That's right.
It was coming out with a lot of Dreamcast games, so it was like, oh my god, Dreamcast is coming back. It's coming back big and black and able to beat a hobo to death with like fucking like crazy fucking like sci-fi events on it. Like it just came back all kinds of badass.
If you sit down and think about it, man, the name Xbox is a super edgy name. Like,
early
2000 intro. The intro was beefy. It had like you had like that ominous sound in the back.
Yeah, dude, it was
big ass fucking controller, Dookie size, and they even called it Duke.
Yeah, it's called the Duke.
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, this is a controller for men.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of controller you want? The regular controller? You want the Duke? Like, I want the fucking Duke.
That's it. Oh
god, that thing was
Fusion
awesome.
Frenzy all day.
Oh god, yeah. And so with PlayStation 2, I thought it was a piece of shit. Like I went through 2 of them because my first one burned out, and I had a friend who went through 3 of them. Literally, we had one that he brought back from the store. We unwrapped it, plugged it in, opened the tray, put a DVD in, pressed the button, closed the tray. The tray went back in, stopped for a second, and then the faceplate just fell off. It was hilarious because I was talking shit on what a piece of shit PlayStation 2s are, and as if to accentuate my point, in the most dramatic yet anticlimactic way, just went me blop.
Wow.
And like the whole faceplate just fell off, and I just laughed my ass off. But that was a pretty good testament to how quality machine it was. So after that, when the 360 came out, I was a mercenary, man. I went with whatever system like I thought was going to run the best at that point, because Sega was dead. My master was dead. I was a Ronin samurai roaming the lands, like one of our listeners.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ronin, man.
So I went with Xbox, and that's when the whole Red Ring debacle happened, and that pretty much swayed me hard from Team Microsoft onto Team Sony. And did not really like the TV thing, so I stayed with Sony pretty much since then. I've been really happy with their thing. However, I'm not as much of a pony as the rest of these guys. I will jump. No, dude, I'll jump ship the first chance you give me a better option. I don't know fucking allegiance to anybody.
For me, even though I've always owned a PlayStation console, since the first one,
No, you used to come over especially when I lived in Harlem. You used to come over. I think the last game we played was Kane and Lynch, and that was on the Xbox 360.
Yeah,
we spent a long time playing that.
I mean, hey, listen. When I started getting money, I bought. Cause I always said my main limitation was I didn't have money to afford all these consoles. I have money now. I have all the consoles, and I'm going to continue doing that. But for me, PlayStation will always be my fucking home. Like I'll still actually Xbox. I'm not getting the next Xbox. I could just play shit on my PC.
Say that now. Watch. It's gonna be. I'm telling you, they're gonna add something.
Dude, my fucking Xbox One just sits there collecting dust. You know why? Because
don't worry. They're gonna bring their own version of Robbie the Robot, and you're gonna put it on the side. It's just gonna help you play the games.
I'm not to get too off track. It's crazy. I'm like, I've played every major Xbox game that came out this generation, yet I don't touch my Xbox. Think about that, right? I don't need the system. Anyway, Brett, any more?
Nope, that was about it.
Cool. All right,
I'm currently up to system. I had a I had PSP. I had a Vita. No, I'm not cutting out. I'm just pausing.
Okay.
I had a PSP. I had a Vita. I had a PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PSVR. Fuck, I don't think I'm missing anything.
You got it all, bro.
So yeah, I think I've actually owned literally every Sony gaming product. So, I guess I am kind of a pony.
Yeah, you're more a pony than I am. You're more.
Did you own the PlayStation TV? No. The not the PlayStation TV. The 3D TV. Remember that Sony 3D TV that was like a PlayStation?
Oh, yeah, I know what
you don't need that.
The Wiga or something. That was cool.
Yo, watch what you're saying.
No,
man, what you call me, son? You want to fight?
I won a PlayStation TV over at work. We had a gaming tournament thing in the office, and that was one of the prizes, and I won. That's how I got my PlayStation.
You work with a bunch of fucking nerds, man.
I do. We were playing some hacky sack tournament thing today.
Hacky sacks?
It was that game where
2005.
What's that game that you set like a hole on like a box and you have to like throw a sack and try to get it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Whatever, yeah. So it's like we got all these in-office tournament games we do every year, and they give prizes and stuff. I'm not playing.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, man. I want to hear Brian's PlayStation story. It should be pretty different than all the rest of us.
PlayStation sucks.
Damn! You heard it.
Thomas is right. This is a giant circle jerk of PlayStation. So yeah, I can't really say much that's not been said. So, okay, my journey. It actually started on the PS1. I did get that first. I got it from a friend of mine, so I didn't buy it myself because I had no money. Duh. And it came with Tekken 3, Gran Turismo 1, and Iron Crisis 2. I played a share of those games. Like that's what you do. Like when you have no money, you just buy. You just play whatever games you have, and that's it.
Yeah.
But by the way, Brian. So just to interject really quick, if trophies existed back in the day, I would be a fucking trophy hoarder, man. like fucking platinums. Because I used to, like, I'm like you, man. I couldn't afford a lot of games, so I played the shit out of the ones that I had.
Exactly. You know, and then when I found out about like demos and demo discs, like I saved up so much cash just for the demos. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm getting this demo, I'm getting that demo. I played demos for hours. Like,
why didn't y'all rent games?
Not every rental store was around. It wasn't built, or the good games weren't at your local rental shop.
The nearest Blockbuster was like several miles away from me.
Yeah,
for me, it was the same.
rented
For me, it
the
was
fuck
the same
out
thing.
of games back in the day, bro. As Nintendo Super Nintendo, I rented the shit out of games, man.
I just had a mom and pop.
The closest Blockbuster for me was like over 2 miles away, and that was by Tony.
That's not. I'm not 2 miles away from you, man.
How were you? Like a mile or two? Like
Shit.
no,
man. I'm like half a mile from you, man.
No, but I mean, here's the thing: like to get to the block, like there's two ways to get to your location, right?
Yeah.
And to get to the Blockbuster was kind of a long way around for me. For you, it would just be real easy.
It's 2 blocks away, man. It's right by. Well, it was by the McDonald's, you know.
Yeah, but like for me, like
Casino
the
Boulevard.
for me, the other way to get to it would be to walk down Jewel Avenue and then take that left down there and then walk to that McDonald's. But then it ended up being it was a long trip. There's at least two Blockbusters that were really far. The only one that was on the way to anywhere was the one that was down in 71st.
Yeah. The closest thing for me to a Blockbuster was just my neighbors. If they had games that I didn't have, we used to always play like each other's games.
Anyway, Brian, continue, man.
Yeah, so again, I'm the same here. That the nearest Blockbuster was like miles away, so just never had any at all the whole time. So again, just played a whole bunch of demos and whatnot. I don't think I actually bought a PS1 game exactly, because up until then it was just nothing more than just okay, I'll just play the games that I get from other friends and that's it. So from there, eventually I managed to save up enough money for a PS2. And this is around the time when X-Men 2 came out. And I remember that because I wanted the X-Men 2 game. Was it X-Men Wolverine or something? Or X2 Wolverine?
Oh, shit.
That Wolverine game on PS2. Yes, that's the one that I got mine with. Oh, I played that game so many times. And then I remember the first game I actually bought by itself was Grand Theft Auto 3. I think this was roughly the time when Grand Theft Auto Vice City had come out. And I'm like, okay, I don't have enough money for that because it's too damn new. So I thought okay, I'll get GTA 3 instead. And then from there, eventually got San Andreas, and man, I think that was like the first game I ever like stayed up like past 2 a.m. just playing, because I was just like, cool, I need to play this game. I need to be up there with the kids, like find all the secrets and whatnot. And that first week was just something else. Like, I don't think that the kids now can understand how it is being able to play games without the internet and knowing where everything is. It's just it's that pure discovery. Like, it was amazing. And then from there, just bolstered up the roster bit by bit by bit, and then finally got myself a PS3. Oh, my PS3 story was actually quite funny. So I used to go to university at that point in time, and I bought myself a PS3. It came with God of War. No, it came with Mag and Modern Warfare 2. And yeah, remember Mag?
Yeah, I
remember. I remember.
That was their massive shooter.
That's the part when like everyone says like no, I don't remember Mag because no one remembers Mag.
Oh no,
it's like one of those games that existed and no one cares about anymore.
Yeah, the first Battle Royale game, man.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
It was ahead of
that was supposed to be the future of shooting.
That's right. Yeah.
Right, we're older than you. We remember everything.
That's right. Yeah.
Kind of was.
We're the ancients of gaming.
So yeah, so I got Mag and got Modern Warfare 2, and I came home, and the issue, I was on the way home, and then what happened is that it was snowing really bad in the UK, and I had my bike with me, because I'd cycled from university to the game store, and I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to get home with my bike, my PS3 with these 2 games, and go home, which is like a mile and a half or like 2 miles away. So I'm like, I can't leave a bike there, because the one might get stolen, or might get trashed, or the snow might just ruin it to pieces. And plus, I need to get to university tomorrow, and I can't take the bus because I just spent all the money on my PS3. So I'm like, okay, I'll walk all the way home from the game store to my house, which took like an hour and a half in the snow. Oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing ever because every step was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna slip, fall, and die, and then my PS3 would be left to play to someone else, man.
Well, you still had your bike, so you're holding the bike, you're walking the bike and holding the bag.
Yeah, so I had the bike on one arm, had the PS4 with like the games on the other arm, just walking in the snow. And again, it was like snowing hard as well. So I'm like, please, please, please do not get inside the PS3. Just stay out the PS3. For the love of God, I don't want to go home and find out that my PS3 is just busted. But no, it was all good. I hooked it up, played online for hours on end as usual. And yeah, that's when I really started like loving gaming. That's when like most of the games that I love came out. I mean, God of War 3 came out later on that year, and everyone was playing on day one. It was just like seeing everyone's list just God of War 3, God of War 3, God of War 3, God of War 3. It was just fantastic. Lost Planet 2, I played that. Played Borderlands 1, got the platinum for that, and I found out about the idea of platinums, and I'm like, okay, I don't see the meaning of this. It seems a bit weird, but at the other time, I like the idea of like saying, okay, this is a unique trophy, a unique achievement that you can't really get anywhere else. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy into it.
You have to earn it.
I don't remember what my first platinum was. It must
My name is Mayo.
How do you not remember your first platinum? That's like saying you don't remember the first
mine. I remember mine. Uncharted, man. First Uncharted. That was it.
Killzone 2, baby.
Oh,
I got a whole trying to get my first platinum trophy.
I remember
I went to Telltale's game.
Yeah, I remember I had to replay Uncharted because I'd already beaten it, right? And then trophies came out. They were brand new. I'm like, oh, trophies. What the fuck is this shit? You know? So I had to go back, get those trophies. For that first year or 2 years, I was a fucking addict. Manny will tell you about that shit. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, granted, I didn't play games that I didn't want to play. I still play games I wanted to play. Every game I bought, I had to fucking get the platinum.
Tony was PlayStation era. Tony was a pretty huge beast on getting platinums in those. Like once they activated platinums, he was just a platinum fool. And in fact, because of how quickly he would get, beat games and get the platinum trophies, and I'm like, that's the point when I was like, dude, you finished so many games in such a short amount of time, and you get the fucking platinum. We should totally do you should totally make up a blog or something like and just do some reviews and shit. And he's like, fuck that.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. Yeah, you were, but the thing is, you were telling me that shit even before the PlayStation. Like,
oh yeah,
he was like, Tony, you play games so fast. Why don't you do a blog? And I was like, I'm not gonna be one of these motherfuckers on the internet giving their opinion. I'm not one of those fucking assholes. Yeah, And then Manny, he came up to me and he was like, yo. Like, I'm thinking about doing a website. I'm like, 2 assholes. Okay, I could do that.
Yeah. And that's what we got.
Wait, it was 3 assholes.
Adam joined and then Chris joined.
It was Chris and Adam. So it was like
a whole bunch of assholes.
Yeah, he said 4 assholes. And evil Chris was there too, man.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like it's all from that initial thing. We're just like saying, hey man, you do all this gaming shit. Why don't we do something with it?
Yeah, man, and now we're making money off this shit. Anyway, so Brian, trophies, man.
Yeah, so I just did a quick check, and my first platinum, and Torrance will actually love this, was Dark Void.
Oh shit!
Wow, yeah. Dark Void.
Who remembers that fucking
in the world
game?
that has a platinum for that? Exactly, right?
That was the one with that spinny thing, right?
The Rocketeer.
Rocketeer. It was Drake's Fortune with the jetpack,
and it was even Nolan North too doing a voice acting on that.
It was.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Ain't that about a bitch?
That was my first platinum, and then since then I had like a small inkling, like, okay, I'll get it in like some other games, So I did it in Infamous, which was like the next one, and man, that was a platinum and a half because I was like, how am I supposed to find all these blast shards when I can't find them on the damn map? I think I spent an hour and a half just getting the last 2 because, again, you had to go through like the old school way of like printing out the map, crossing out like all the places you've been to and all sorts, and looking at the guides. And it's like, oh man, that was, yeah. So I think that was like the point where I was like, okay, I need to be really careful as to like what games I do platinum because I can't be wasting too much time on these games. And then from there, just more games, and then I heard about the PS4. I was like, okay, it sounds good. It sounds like a good idea, but it seems to be missing a lot of features that the PS3 did, and it just didn't seem to be as organized. It didn't feel like they took the PS3 and improved it. It just looks like they took the PS3 and then they were trying to copy it, but then didn't quite get as far as the PS3 was, and it just lacked the small things like the ability to organize your games. I don't know why that was missing. I thought that was such a good thing because again, on my PS3, all my games are organized from I beat it to I need to finish this now, or this is high priority, or games that I'll just never play but somehow are still on here because I shouldn't remove them. And when I heard about that the PS4 just doesn't have that, I'm just like, why? And then also the ability to play
now you can create folders.
Yeah, but then again, this was at launch.
Yeah, it's a launch.
I was looking at okay, I have this PS3, whereas the PS4 has all these things. Like, I'm not seeing the things I like in there, so I'll just wait. And the other thing was just like the ability to play like your music. It's like, come on, like, why isn't this a thing that's there from day one? It's just made things so weird. And then I eventually just said, okay, you know what? I think I'm done with this. I don't like how they're going with it. The games that they did have, I wasn't really I had no interest in them at that point in time, and I'm like, I'll just clock out. They're all starting to feel a bit. They're not the type of games that I enjoy, you know. So I thought I'll clock out. And then eventually, I did get a PS4 when Bloodborne came out because I thought that Bloodborne would be quite fun. Because again, it looks quite nice. It looks quite fun. And yes, got the platinum in that as well.
My man.
And yeah, and since then, the PS4 has just kind of been my GTA 5 machine. Because again, all my friends have GTA 5, have a PS4, so they have a PS4 with GTA 5. And then because of PSN Plus, where it's like they just throw games at you for just being a member, because I play GTA 5 with friends, I need to have PSN Plus. So because I have PSN Plus, I have all these games. So now I have all these games, but most of them I don't really want to play. So hence I'll say to myself, okay, I'll wait for the PS5. Hopefully it has backwards compatibility where they make things run better, and then I'll play all my PS4 games on the PS5 since my PS4 is just, I don't know, it just chugs weirdly. It makes so much noise. I'm scared sometimes, you know.
Wait, your PS4
on you?
Yeah, like it makes way more sound than the PS3 does, and it's just really weird. It's like, how, why? Well, I know how and why, but still, it's like.
Do you still have games on disc? Because I know that's one portion when it makes a lot of noise, especially when it revs up.
All apart from like 4 or 5 of them, I think I have like 6 games on disc, and the rest are all just digital.
Yeah. For fun, I was just looking up my first platinum trophy in PlayStation 4. It was actually Resident Evil 5.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay.
You helped me get mine for that one too, man.
Yep.
That was fun.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's my experience with PlayStation. Again, I'm just kind of annoyed that the step from PS3 to PS4 was just not what I expected. It just felt a bit of a letdown. It is there now, but this is how they should have been from day one. So hopefully I'm hoping that they take that mentality and they take that idea of like, okay, this is where we should have been, so this is where we ended up. So let's start off from where we ended rather than like start from fresh. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they take the ideas that they've learned, they take the lessons that they've learned with the PS4, PS3, and then they make that into the PS5 or take that into the PS5. If they don't, then I'll probably do the same thing again, where I'll just wait and get later. And just in case people are wondering, I did kind of laugh when Tony said there's no point of getting an Xbox since all the Xbox games are on PC, and I laughed because I'm playing Crackdown 3 at the moment.
Oh shit!
Like, yep, tell me about it, Tony.
Tell me about it. Yeah, telling you, man. It's crazy. Oh wow, longer show than usual, but we got one more thing to talk about. Manny wants to talk about this shit. Manny, what's going on with PlayStation and some fucking commercial? What's going on?
So what happened is PlayStation Japan has a tradition of releasing these sort of half animated, half a trailer sizzle videos whenever, you know, in the different times of the year when they have big releases. So last year they did one, and this year they did one. The only thing about this one is that there's a big scandal with it because it reuses a bunch of drawn animation on the footage, and this one site called Katsuka actually figured out where all of the different things are. In fact, I'm going to show you that video right now.
Oh shit! Screen share, baby.
So what this is like, it's supposed to be like, you know, it's a music video, has a really nice, like a song on it. And then what it does is it, you know, it shows you a little bit of animation, and then it shows you like a, you know, a trailer. So it shows like Stranding and all that good stuff.
So this is the comparison.
So this is the comparison. So this is all this shows you all the different animations that this guy was ripping off to put in this official Sony thing.
All right, go ahead, man.
No, why is it running now? Come on, you're on. Now it doesn't want to run.
Oh no.
Let's see.
Technical difficulties. People.
Technical difficulties. I'd had it running before.
All right, we'll try it again. So every time you click on the little arrow, nothing happens?
Yeah. For some reason, now it doesn't want to do it.
So I know they pulled the original video.
They did. They pulled the original video and all that stuff. But anyway, now it doesn't want to work. Anyway.
Reload the page, man. Reload the page.
All right, let's reload it. Let's see what happens.
Give it another shot, man. Twitter's acting weird. There it is. It's moving now. Okay, so, check that out.
Let's run it back. So let's run it back to the beginning. So it shows you literally all the different things. This is a sequence from Steven Universe that they stole. This is Fully Cooley. This thing, and a lot of the animations that this guy ripped off of was also a lot of student animation, which is really, really fucked up.
Man.
So some of these things are actual real, and you know, obviously they're real shows and stuff that are on TV, and a lot of them are things that are from student things, which is really, really fucked up. Like this right here, that's just a person just doing some Naruto animation on their own, and this guy just ripped it off. So as of now, since this guy Katsuka did this, he put this video together comparing all the different animation that this guy kind of ripped off. Sony Japan has since, you know, gone and
they pulled that shit
and pulled everything off. But the thing is that like they still haven't and also this animator who and his company actually just pulled once the scandal happened, he pulled everything of themselves offline. So all this social networking, his website, he pulled everything down, and then a bunch of companies that were dealing with him all decided that they were gonna pull any sort of support away from him. So he literally got instantly blacklisted.
Yo, this dude killed his whole fucking career, man. Wow.
Yep, he literally killed his career because he literally tried to pass a bunch of student animation and real animation all into this, you know, as official stuff. And these are the funny thing about it is that he managed to make all these sequences work together, but the really screwed up thing is just that how much of the animation he actually just took from everything else to make this thing, this official Sony thing. It's like, you know, I know a lot of people say like, oh, you know, there's people saying, oh, you know, it's not plagiarism because he's not stealing the actual stealing the actual drawings, but that's not the thing. That's not the point. Animation is more than just, just more than just taking a pose from something. It's literally the actual motion and all the timing and all that stuff. So it's really, and then again, it only took it. And the thing, obviously, Sony couldn't see what this was because they don't know these things as well as some people out there, right? But this guy, who's also really, you know, Katsuga is like a big into animation in general. If you've ever gone to their website, they're always, you know, featuring animators from Japan and the States and different little, different things because he's kind of an animation enthusiast. So he saw all this and he just put this video together and we're like, yo, this is fucked up.
My thing is like, how the fuck did he think he was going to get away with that shit? You know?
I mean, maybe the reason why he thought he was going to get away with it is because it was a bunch of not professionals doing these things. Yeah. Like all the animations most of the animation that was stolen was just, you know, stuff that he found on the net. So it's like, well, you know, then nobody's going to know who this guy is or nobody's going to know who this person is. And then he kind of filled it up with a bunch of his, you know, like these additional effects animation he did on. But yeah, I can't, like, especially when you're doing like a big job, even if it is a short time around, you shouldn't be plagiarizing other people's work. And if you are using somebody else's work, just like in writing, you have to cite your sources.
That's it, man.
You know, if this was an homage, right? I can see if it was like, okay, you know, sometimes, you know how like, a couple people use the example like, oh, you know, a lot of different, you know, companies use the Akira, you know, bike scene, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that that's an homage. They're taking the timing, they're taking the thing because it's a situation where they want to pay homage to that. This doesn't fall underneath that at all.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because with the Akira thing, it's obvious what they're doing.
It's obviously what they're referencing. Yeah. But he in this situation, he's trying to pull a fast one because nobody heard of these other people, most of these other people, and he took little sequences from bigger animations that you might not be able to recognize. But still, not cool.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
And then to have this happen so close to the anniversary stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously people, since Sony's, since the anniversary stuff, it's like they literally uploaded this thing at like maybe end of November, right? Not long ago. And yeah.
Crazy. All right, man. So we're pretty much done there, but we got to do one thing here. Some house cleaning, as they call it.
Yo, man, we cleaning some houses?
Because today was pretty much, even though it wasn't really our last quote-unquote normal episode. So if you were to, Twitter's acting up today, Manny. So it wasn't just you.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So if you go over to our Twitter at Throwdown Show, you'll see.
Whoa. Are you showing it, by the way? Show it on the screen.
I don't even know how to do that shit, man.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to do it. I would do it. I don't know how to screen share.
Wait. Let me
you do it. You do it. Yeah, I don't know how to fucking do that shit.
Hold on.
Actually, I think I would have to minimize the screen, but I'm not trying to do that. Hi, Jossie.
Hey, what's up?
I'm saying, for you guys listen, I'm saying hi to Manny's girlfriend. She came over here and gave him some bag of potato chips, man. Nice. Let me get them chips, man. Fucking intermittent fasting. I'm over here starving, man. All right, here we go. All right. Throwdown schedule, man. Just hit F11, Manny. Takes up the whole screen. Yeah, perfect. All right, so tonight we already had our Throwdown. Throwdown episode 263. So this Sunday, like normal, throw down your questions, episode 263. Nothing's changed there. Next week's when things start getting interesting. So Thursday, December 12th, we're going to have Throwdown episode 264. That's going to be the Game Awards stream special. Basically, we're going to give our live impression of the Game Awards. So that show's going to be taking place 2 hours earlier than normal Throwdown. Throwdown's always 10:30. This shit's going to be at 8:30 Eastern because that's, to coincide with the Game Awards. So we're going to have two special guests that night. We're going to have Tay Nixter. She also works for the Coalition. And our buddy David Giltonen, who he was like, hey, can I join? Like, yeah, man. Get on here, So we're gonna have him. We're gonna have them on. That's next Thursday. Next Sunday, Throwdown questions. Normal Throwdown questions. Then Thursday, December 19th, the end of the year special, people, where we're going to go over, the best games, the worst games, the craziest moments, all that shit from 2019. And our special guest for that one will be Mr. Robert Workman once again.
Oh, yeah. End of the year with Robert.
That's it, man. And we always have him on end of the year. So let's keep that tradition going, And then for Sunday, December 22nd, is going to be the last episode of Throwdown Your Questions for the year. That's going to be the AMA special, people. I know Carlos is hyped up about that shit. So basically, ask us whatever the fuck you want. It could be about, if you want to ask us about games, sure, but, ask us some other shit, pop culture, life, philosophy, whatever the fuck, sex, whatever the fuck you want to ask us, And that's going to be 3 questions per person. So we're going to be here all night answering shit, And then after that, after December 22nd, basically the next 2 weeks, we're taking a break, people. We're going to go into our, cocoons and shit and replenish. We're going to go to the Odin sleep. Yeah, we're going to go to the Odin sleep for 2 weeks. And Throwdown returns on Thursday, January 9th with episode 266 and Sunday, January 12th for episode 266 of Throwdown Your Questions, man. So, yeah, we got a lot of shit going, It's going to be crazy. We may even give some shit away, Who knows, man?
Yo, man, we got lots of shit to go. Like, Tony's got lots of stuff. I got a bunch of Death Stranding posters here for you fans of it. So we got lots of stuff, and we're going to start the year right.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so just a quick recap once again. This Sunday, regular Throwdown Your Questions. Next Thursday, we're going to have the Game Awards stream at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Regular Throwdown Your Questions for that episode, for that week as well. Then after that, we're going to have the end of the year special, right? 265 and Throwdown Your Questions AMA 265. And you see all that shit up there on your screen. So jot it down or just go over to our Twitter, man. It'll be crazy. All right. So I think we're pretty much done here, people. But before we go, one last thing. Riku, man, as always, thank you for being on, man. Plug yo shit if you got anything to plug.
Yeah, at Riku-san1.
Thanks for having me, people. Even though it feels like it came here to be slaughtered along with the Vita, but it is what it is. It's all.
Hey, Rico, you know I love the Vita.
No,
man.
we bought. I originally asked to have you on because you are the Sonyest of Sonys.
Sonyest of Sony shit.
You are the Sonyest of Sonys, man.
I was telling Tony, fucking someone hit me up. Was it like day before yesterday or something? Hey, can you come on our podcast this Saturday? I'm like, why does motherfucker hit me up to come on his podcast as soon as that Vita's officially dead news comes out? Sure, I'll come.
Yeah, but this is your podcast, man. Don't forget that shit. Man. You know, original founders. That's right, man. That's right.
My home right here.
You know,
man.
All right. I was gonna say something. I'll stop right now. Rico, I think you already know what I was gonna do, man.
Just tell me off there.
Something about the lowdown on the Throwdown.
Man. All right, man. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Batman, motherfucker.
Whoa.
Perfect. Adam Vale.
Yeah, have a good week, people.
Brett Murdoch. I love it. Brian Bonjoma.
Yeah. Crackdown's not that bad, and I heard a rumor that what's his face? What's that damn game? The
Terry Crews.
Zero Dawn might be coming to PC.
Excuse me?
I don't know who that is.
Horizon?
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, man.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
I know Brett agrees with that, man. All right, and of course, the only one, Riku's son won.
Hey, man. Vita may be dead to everybody, but it's still alive to me.
That's it, man. All right, people. We'll see you on Sunday. Later.
Don't forget to pick up Titanfall 2 on PS Store.
Yeah, man. There you go. Adam's Game of the Generation, man. All right, peace out.
I love that. Love it. For life.